two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is my brother, Sgt McClusky. What's going on, Sarge?
Oh. Time warp.
Time warp?
Again.
Yeah, here, hold on a second. I don't know what's happening with my... Get some more light on my face. Everything's got messed up right before the stream, like always. I'm sitting because my cable, my backup camera is shorter than my main camera. My main camera broke because of a lightning storm. So now I have a backup camera, and the cord's too short, so I can't stand. So, whatever. Hey, Generation X Gaming is a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. We're here live, 8 p.m. Thursdays.
Did that just happen?
Yeah, that just happened.
Did you... Like your lightning struck just right before the show, like type of thing,
like 4 minutes. Yeah, like just happened, and that's why I have a backup. Anyway, we're live 8 p.m. Thursday nights right here on 30 NSG on YouTube. You can also watch us after the fact here, or listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. You can also watch us over on Spotify. So if you like listening to podcasts, you can watch this format. And then I take my morning show that I do, the Daily Grind, and we've been putting those over on a podcast format as well. So if you'd like to support us in any way, shape, or form, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? On today's show, we're going to be talking about Concord. We talked about Concord last week, Sarge, but there's been changes that happened in 1 week's time. So we're going to talk about Concord, how, Concord doesn't exist anymore. Its state. It
still exists.
In its state, that it's shutting down tomorrow. Yeah, and we have a story, and it's actually pretty funny. We'll talk about the story. So we're going to talk about that. We're talking about rumors of upcoming first-party live service game for Sony. We're going to talk about the leakers share existing updates for the PlayStation 5 Pro, perhaps the next state of play. We're going to talk about Japanese gamers turn to Xbox as Sony raises the PlayStation 5 prices. Okay, we're going to talk about Destiny. Destiny Rising is real. We're going to talk about NetEase and Destiny making a mobile MMORPG. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Ubisoft and how Star Wars Outlaws just didn't cut it for them, and they've projected lower sales by next March by 2 million, and also they have the lowest stocks since 2014 for Ubisoft because of this launch. So,
here's my question: does Ubisoft have any games coming out soon?
Yeah, they have Outlaws. They have Shadows coming out for AC.
All right, so should I wait till after Shadows comes out, then buy the stock? By then it would have plateaued, right?
Well, it's down pretty far right now for them. But that's up to you. I don't give financial advice over here. Black Myth Wukong. Update from last week. Last week we talked about who are we supposed to believe? Are we supposed to believe the developer? Or are we supposed to believe the journalists, right?
Originally you're supposed to believe the journalists,
right?
They're supposed to have a criteria.
Well, now we have an update on the update from last week from Paul Tassi, because there's more to the who we're supposed to trust. So we have an update for that. So we'll talk about that. No Man's Sky added something, so we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Nintendo. Research and development spending hits a record high, looming a Switch 2, so we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about Warhammer. It just came out today in early access. People are loving it, but at the same time, it has its issues, and then I'll tell you why myself and Sarge are not getting it. We're going to talk about Minecraft, not the game. We're going to talk about Minecraft, the movie trailer. We're not going to show it, but we are going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Mikey Barra talking about how consoles will never die. We're going to talk about Suicide Squad layoffs. We're going to talk about Until Dawn remake studio has layoffs. We're going to talk about couch PC gaming could be getting a whole new load of Microsoft has started testing out virtual keyboards and whatnot for the controller. We're going to talk about another game that just came out on Xbox that's doing very well. And we're going to talk about PlayStation 6 and Xbox next could deliver the biggest generational leap in machine learning. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we have a couple other things. If we get through all of these shows, we might not get to any of these. We might stay on one topic for the next hour and a half. Who knows? But that's what we do here. We rant. We rant along the way. So again, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button down below. And let's get to what we've been playing.
Is there a new stinger for this?
No, it's not a new stinger. Same stinger.
I'm looking.
We think I have editors and stuff? I do all this stuff myself. Another week, Sarge? What have you been playing?
Well, store craziness is taking full effect. So, let's see. Let's start at the top. So after the show,
We should start at the bottom and work our way to the top.
yeah, after the show last week, I loaded up Division 2.
Okay. Oh
'cause I was
man,
bored. I was bored.
we haven't.
was
I haven't
bored.
touched it since the last
Right.
season thing that
Yeah, but
happened.
bad news, bro.
What happened?
Bad news.
What happened? Did we lose? Did we lose?
We lost leadership with the clan again.
Oh, for
'Cause I-
fuck!
I-
It's
I-
been
I-
90 days.
I guess it's been 90 days.
Oh my
I
god, we
lost.
lost our own clan. It's
Yeah,
the
lost our own clan
stupidest
again.
mechanic in the history of games.
Yeah.
I make a clan. I don't show up to my own clan. And like, we're taking it from you. Like, fuck you. Go ahead. Who's gonna lead now? Who do we have to email?
I don't know. The name doesn't look familiar. I was like, I don't really care, but at the same time, I'm like, how do you get kicked out of your own club?
Your own clan. I made the clan. I lost it. Brain picked it up. Someone else picked it up. We got it back after that guy. You
and
picked
they
it
gave
up.
it to me.
Yeah.
And they gave it back to me, and then I haven't been there for 90 days. So now
stupid.
we lost it again.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. So I played a little bit. I do like the gunplay. I mean, I do like the gunplay. I did some missions, did the skyscraper, got a couple exotics that I didn't have before, leveled up some pieces, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta stop playing this now because I'm mad because I don't have clan anymore. So then I loaded up and I went on an RTS.
Well, you still have a clan. You're just
I'm not the leader.
yeah. You're just
I'm
not the leader. You're still in
Yeah,
the
I
clan.
can't make choices. I can't kick people out. 90-day guy. I was doing the 90-day thing, kicking people out.
I blame
I-
you,
no,
Sarge. I blame you.
I
It
know.
was your
I know.
responsibility to tune in at least every 60 days just to go in there for
Yeah.
half a second.
Just to pop in. I didn't realize it was that long. So I got into an RTS kick, right? So I started looking up RTS games, and so I played a couple matches of not Dawn of War. I played a couple matches of Dune Spice Wars online.
Okay.
Those games kept me up until 4:00 in the morning,
Nice.
right? Because I couldn't, I can't sleep and you can't quit. It's a everybody's
You
playing
can
at
tell
the same
Sarge's
time
not
thing.
working because of his arm.
Yeah.
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 The
Then I
good
went
old
to-
days, playing games till
Yeah.
4:00 in the morning.
Yeah. All right. So then I self-medicated, went to sleep, woke up about 11:30 in the morning, which is about right because it's 6 hours. I'm about a 6-hour person, right? Get up, have brunch or breakfast and lunch at the same time because 11:30 is too early or too early and late for normal meals, right? And then immediately went and loaded up an Axis and Allies game, and I played with somebody on there for 2-3 hours,
Okay.
right? And then and then I loaded up Total War 3.
All right.
And I played that from 2:00 in the afternoon until about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Because that game, let me tell you, that game destroys clocks. Destroys clocks. Total War 3
It's a
destroys
time machine.
clocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, destroys clocks.
And then Sarge woke up and it was Thursday again.
yeah, and then I basically repeated like that kind of like flow, bouncing from like couple games. I played a couple rounds of Beyond All Reason, which is the successor of Total War Annihilation. I'm sorry, Total Annihilation. It's a successor of Total Annihilation. It's RTS. You can play up like 50 people at the same time. It's ridiculous. Your machine starts to melt down because it's running so many people at the same time. But surprisingly enough, I know you're all mad at me. I didn't get back into Baldur's Gate 3, right?
You know, it's
Right?
funny.
For the last week, I'm still. Here's the problem.
This
All right,
game
I'll let you know right away.
sold so
Here's-
well, and yet all the people I know that bought it have yet to play it.
Okay, so here's the issue. right? So I told you I played 4
Best
hours
game
of the
that
game.
no one's played.
I played 4 hours of the game.
Yep.
And then I realized I was playing the wrong character
Okay.
before I realized it was a total wrong character.
Yep.
And then I went and reloaded the game,
Yep.
went through the whole pre-log stuff again, and I played another 4 hours, and then I stopped. So it's kind of like I've reached the same position, and I'm like, okay. And here's the worst part, right? I've got 3 games like this that are in the middle of story, and I've stopped. So I've stopped in the middle of Baldur's Gate 3. I've stopped in the middle of Cyberpunk, which I'm terrified of now because I'm afraid I won't be able to get back into it.
Yeah, because
right?
you're gone now. You have to start over
Right?
again. Yeah.
That's horrible,
Yeah,
right?
that's
I want to play Cyberpunk. I want to finish it, and I'm also in the middle of Mafia, the Mafia trilogy, and I just stopped playing that as well.
Yeah.
So like I got like 3
This
games.
is why no
like,
one
in the middle of
finishes video games. Yeah.
It's horrible, man. It's horrible. I blame the painkillers.
Waterbear
I
says he
kinda
feels
lose
like
my
I'm calling him out. I am calling you out, and I'm calling myself out, right? You have what, 11 hours in it, Waterbear? I have 11 and a half hours in it. Sarge got 4, right? I know 3 other people.
No, I got 4 with 2 different characters.
Oh, okay.
I 8 or
You
9
have 8 hours.
in.
Okay.
I only like 9 hours.
Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people that I know bought the game. They're like, "Oh, dude, I'm so excited about playing this game." They got anywhere between 7 to 15 hours in, and they're like, "I love it," but they can't go back. Not because they don't like it. It's because they're doing exactly the way you just described it, Sarge. They're playing a little bit here. They're playing a little bit over here. They're playing a little bit over here. I'm not better because I'm going to tell you what I played this week. There's a shit ton. Go ahead. Continue, though.
I might have mentioned this in the past, right? But when I have like these feelings on what type of game I want to play, like what I'm in the mood for, I write it down on my calendar, like what I'm playing for that week. I'll write down.
God,
right?
you're old. Writing
And
stuff
then-
on a calendar, like a physical
Yeah,
calendar. You're like, I'm
Yeah,
going to play this today.
There's a calendar right there. So when I'm playing something, I make a note that
Today
I played
is Tuesday.
right?
I've got to do my ESO farming method.
I know you're making fun of me, but I keep the calendars. So I look back on the last like 3 or 4 years of when I'm playing what games, and
So you remember.
the switch between like first person shooters.
Do me a favor right now. Write on calendar. Check in for Division 2 to get our clan back. Okay, get our
I
clan
don't know
back.
how to get back. How do you get it back?
You
gotta
gotta
be on more than
contact.
somebody else.
You got to contact the guy that's the leader
Oh.
right now in Xbox and say, "Hey, I'm
Get my
sorry.
clan back?
Can I get my can you just throw me back
Yeah.
leadership, please? Please."
and then kick him.
Right, exactly right. Because
No. So I look back on the calendar and I'm looking back on it, and I have about like a 5-month shift. Like I play first person shooters, adventure type games, and then I slowly start transitioning, and then I start playing RTS games, and it's about 4.5 to 5 months before I go back and forth. Right? It's just how I feel about it. Like I got it on it's there, right? So the facts are in front of me. So like when I say, man, I didn't play that. When the last time I played that? I just look on my calendar. When was the last time I played it?
I've been playing. I'm all over the fucking place. What I've been playing, right? So
Oh,
obviously, I've been playing Star Wars.
Borderlands.
I'm
playing Borderlands.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing Outlaws, right? I'm enjoying Outlaws quite a bit for my Ubisoft Plus for the month, so I'm getting my
I don't
time.
believe you. I think you're hunting for. You're hunting for clicks because you like. You don't really like it though, do you?
If I was farming clicks, I would make instead of live streams, I would make
Do you
upload
really like
after.
Outlaws? Do you really like Outlaws?
Yeah.
Or are you just accepting Outlaws?
No, I really enjoy Outlaws. Like,
You really enjoy Outlaws.
yeah, the parts of Outlaws that I really like is that they've Massive does a fantastic job. I've said it before even Outlaws came out. Like, we talk about it all the time in Division. Like, when you walk into a
building.
when you walk into a building that's burning, okay, and you start going through it, you're like, man, it's so much detail, and you feel like you're in a fucking pandemic inside the cities, right? If it was New York or now Washington, right?
Right.
So now I didn't play Avatar Pandora, but people that played it are like, oh, it's beautiful. It's so like it makes you feel like you're in the movies and stuff like that.
So you like world building. You like the world building aspect of the game because you are attached because of Star Wars.
One, because of Star Wars, right?
Okay.
Right. One, because of Star Wars, and two, even before the game came out, when they showed it last year, and I said, man, they really captured the feel of between episodes 5 and 6, like, because that's when it takes place. They've captured that moment of like what the films did, the way they do the way they do the widescreen format, the way they do the film grain and stuff on that. I left all the stuff that was supposed to be left on like default, right? That's the way I played it. When you're playing through the game, yes, Kay Vess's face morphs and stuff through the in-game cutscenes, right? Not a big deal, but it is a flaw. Okay, the game mechanics are not terrible, but they're not great either. They're just good. They need improvement. So I've talked about this last week. But what this game does, it makes me feel like a kid. And when we used to sit down and play with the figures on our family room floor, and we would have like the battles and the different things, and you're pretending you're on Tatooine and you're doing all this stuff, and then you played all these games throughout our childhood, living up to the thing, right? Playing Star Wars Galaxies, or playing the Knights of the Old Republic, or playing the Old Republic, right? Like, all of these things are great open world games where you're like living inside that world, like you're exploring the worlds, you're enjoying the Star Wars universe. They've nailed it with this. I love the handcrafted areas they've made for T'Challa and Killam, and also Tatooine, right? Walking into the cantina in Tatooine and going up to where the booth was where Han Solo sat, and you see the scorch marks on the wall.
There is no scorch mark. He never shot.
Whatever. It's there.
It's not whatever. Greedo did not shoot.
But it is now, because that's what they changed it to. The point is that they've taken the worlds of the movies and they've put it inside this game. And the entire experience of living in the world, like being in the world, is really cool because Massive knows how to make worlds. They know how to make, they know how to world build. Okay. The functionality of how to get quests. Okay. Fetch quests or fetch quests. We talk about this all the time, right? Go here, grab guy. Guy goes, hey, can you do me a favor? Do this. Right. They do it a little different here. Okay. They do it in the world lore building. So all of a sudden you walk into a cantina. There's no quest around, and all of a sudden you hear two people chattering. And you walk around, you see a little white dot. You walk up to the white dot, it says lean on the bar. You lean on the bar, and the camera does this cinematic thing where it shows you in the foreground, shows the people in the background, and then they start talking. And you overhear something. And it says, I left the treasure on this rock, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it says, you have a new quest. You can go find this, right? Then you'll find like data pads, and you'll pick up the data pad, and it tells you something. Then you can go up to someone and talk to the bartender. The bartender says, oh, you're looking for this person? Well, go check out here. They're all fetch quests. But the way Massive does the lore building to make you feel like you're living in the world, they've done a really good job. So now the mechanics themselves, the gunplay, the firing of the guns, obviously they make Division 1 and 2. It's good, right? But it's not Division 1 or 2's gun mechanics. It's like lesser of those gun mechanics, okay? And then the stealth. Now, obviously, I talked about this earlier this week, and I think today, okay? Massive has never made a stealth game. They've made a cover-based shooter game. They've never made stealth. They've made cover-based shooters. But Ubisoft has made stealth games, okay? So you're thinking to yourself, hey, pick up a phone and go, hey, we're making a stealth game over here with Outlaws. You guys want to come over and tell us what's the best way to make a stealth game? Okay.
Yeah, and they went, no, you got it.
Right. They're like, it's real simple. Put some crates, get behind there, right? So the three major things in this game that are bad are the AI, the stealth, okay, and
the shooting.
Well, the shooting's okay. The shooting's okay. It's not bad. It's okay. Okay. I was gonna say the third thing is the cutscenes. They go from like super looking like the pre-rendered ones to the in-game cutscenes. You're like, what is this? Like, what happened? Right? It feels like they forgot to go back and put like the optimization in.
What happened is we're out of time. That's what happened.
Right.
Right? That's what happened. Now here's the issue I have before I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. Is once again a game that is supposed to be good on day one.
Right. You gotta wait 12 months. You gotta wait 12 months.
And you gotta wait for a patch or something to come out to make the game the way it was supposed to be made. That's only my point. Right? The game is mid. Not saying that the game is bad.
No, it's not bad.
The game is mid.
Yeah. There's more good. There's more good in the game.
I love Star Wars.
Yeah, there's more good about the game than there is bad about the game.
I want to make it clear. I love Star Wars. Right? I just stopped buying most Star Wars games because they're all in the same boat. They're not ready when they come out.
Right. Like I said, it's a good game. It's not a great game, but it's not a terrible game that people are talking about, right?
I didn't say it was terrible.
I didn't say you did. I said that people are saying that it's terrible, and it's not a terrible game. There's terrible games out there that.
Well, there's terrible moments. I mean, destroy like the clips that they have and put them on the internet to make
you can do that with
the
any
game is terrible.
Any game.
I know you can do that thing. But there are terrible moments.
Sure,
I'm not
any
saying the
game,
whole
any
game is
game though, when
terrible.
you see
Yeah.
highlights of games, this doesn't make any difference. Any game, if you're looking for bugs, you will find bugs. You can clip the bugs. You can make a compilation of the bugs. I've had one bug my entire time, which is I killed a guy in one of the space stations. I took out an officer, and there was 2 other guys. And when I took him out, his voice was still active. Like he was still telling people, he's like, "What are we doing here? Get to work!" And I'm like, and it was freaking me out because I was like, "Did I take that guy out?" And I kept looking at him. Like he's on the ground, like knocked out, and yet he's still talking. And I was like, "Okay, right." I've never had some of the glitches that they show, but again, it doesn't matter if it happened to me or not. They're happening. Okay, so that's one of the games I've been playing. Another game that I'm playing, because I have Ubisoft Plus, and it's also coming to Game Pass next week, is Riders Republic. Right, Riders Republic is this Ubisoft open world, extreme, like X Games type of game where you're snowboarding, parasailing, snowmobile, paragliding, jet, squirrel suit, biking, BMX bike. It's got like 10 or 15 different things that you do. It's actually pretty fun, right? So I've been playing with my son, right? It's races. It's basically Forza Horizon, but with bikes and skateboards instead of cars. Okay. So it's this wide open map. Like this map is gigantic. And when you zoom out of this map is so goddamn big. In a jet suit, it would take you a good like 10 minutes to get across the border. Okay. But the impressive part is you'll see these dots everywhere, like where you are, like a certain circumference, right? Like a fog of war type of thing. Like you back out and you'll see all the white dots of everyone playing in the server. And you're like, holy Christ, there's a lot of people playing this game, right? Like it looks like flowing water as you're flying above and you're looking down. You just see hundreds, if not thousands of people just skateboarding. No joke. Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands?
Tens of thousands of people are on the server with the white dots that are going over, right? Right. And I'm like, this is crazy, right? And it doesn't slow down, right? It's just constantly happening. It's fun.
What's this game called?
It's called Riders Republic, right? So my son downloaded it because I have Ubisoft Plus. He's like, oh, it's like early access. I'm like, no, I'm paying for it. I'm paying this month for Star Wars Outlaws. I was like, and it's on Ubisoft Plus. He goes, yeah, but it's coming to Game Pass, and I don't have it yet. But because you're paying for it, it's like early access. I'm like, however you want to decide that you want to get it. I was like, you're going to get it anyway because it's coming to Game Pass, right? So he's playing that. He really likes it. He's like, oh, this is a really fun game. And it's really fun just flying around, doing the stuff, or skateboarding and racing and stuff, right? So that's another game I've been playing. On top of that, Lord of the Rings Return of Moria that I played last year with Akuta Papa on PC through the Epic Games Store. They just came out with it on Xbox on the 27th. Okay, so they just this major update. They finally released it on Xbox. It was $20, and I said, "Hey, let me pick it up, right? Because I like the game on PC. I want to get it for Xbox because my son showed interest in it." Down the line when we were playing, he's like, what is this? I was like, oh, it's Lord of the Rings. He's like, oh, that looks cool because it reminded him of Minecraft because you're going around and it's a survival game, so you're building and collecting stuff. So he's like, oh, is that on Xbox? I'm like, no, not yet. Well, now it is. So it was $20, picked it up. It's phenomenal on the Xbox. Like they've optimized it really well. It looks great. The control scheme that they have on the Moria, like all the quick buttons that you can pick to build and to go through menu systems much easier. Because I was playing on mouse and keyboard, which is nice, but the way they condensed it into the controller scheme, it's really good, and it's crossplay. Now the crossplay between PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox now.
All three.
If you host a game on PC, I believe it's 8 people can play up together. Okay, so if someone's hosting it on PC, 8 people can join theirs. If you're playing on Xbox, it's only 4. Okay, so you're gonna have 4 friends
because it's using that system.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
So you can only play 4 people on it. So I'm gonna probably pick that up again and start playing that as well. But I checked it out, started playing it a little bit. Went back, started playing a little bit of more Disney Speedstorm, trying to unlock a couple characters. I also went back to Fortnite again a little bit to go through the season pass a little bit by doing the oddball stuff, not playing the actual BR. Went back to Fallout 76. They just had an update with the zombie, not the zombie. Jesus Christ. I can't think. Not the zombie. My brain is hurt in chat. COVID it fucked up my brain. I can't think of it.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. It's right here, but I can't get it out of my mouth. It's the ghouls. The ghoul. I have a ghoul. Yeah, the ghoul is in the game now. Okay, so you can make your character into a ghoul. Okay. Thank you for the reminder, Pizza. Yes, thank you. Right. So the ghoul is in the game, so you can play that.
You're sure it's a ghoul?
It's a ghoul. Yeah, they put a ghoul in the game. Yeah.
Okay.
And then what else? There's one more game I was looking at, and I can't remember it now. Oh, I've been playing Borderlands 2. So going back to what you were saying earlier, Sarge, like you're playing this and you're playing that, you're playing this, I'm playing like 7 games right now, right? I'm playing 7 games right now, and I'm a little overwhelmed. Because I'm not dipping my toe. Besides Outlaws, I'm only dipping my toe in those. I'm like, oh, I'll play this. And I'm like, let me go play something else, right? Let me go check in with this. Let me just unlock this for a second, right? I'm not actually playing games. I'm just shifting games, right? I'm playing a little bit here, a little bit there. I went back to No Man's Sky. That was the other game, right? I went back to No Man's Sky because the season's over, the expedition was over, so I went back to collect my stuff, right? That's a lot of games, right? And then new games came out. New games came out. Space Marines 2 and stuff is starting. So we'll talk about that in a second.
That's what is that? It's not out yet, right? It's just
early access today at noon. It came out. Yeah, early access. It comes out next week for everybody. But if you paid the higher price, then you got it early. Okay.
Yep.
So that's what I've been playing, man. I've been playing a lot of different things. Not really focusing on anything except for Outlaws. Everything else is just diving back. Oh, there was one more game. Star Trucker.
I heard it was coming out.
Star Trucker, the demo, I played it last year or earlier this year, right? And it was fun. My son's playing it right now. He's like, "This is awesome!" Like he's playing on the S. Okay, he's playing on the S, and the graphics look great. I was like, "Wow, this looks really good on the thing." He loves the truck. He likes pushing because it's first person, all the buttons and clicks he was playing, right? And he's playing that right now. So I downloaded it. I'm gonna play. I did play it a little bit, but
is it basically like Outrunners but in space?
No, it's like American Truck Simulator in space.
Okay.
So it's a truck simulator, but a little bit of survival stuff. But you can customize it how hard or less hard you want it.
Is this based off the movie Space Truckers by any chance?
No.
Have you ever seen Space Truckers?
Of course I have.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah. So Star Truckers, we'll probably play that next week.
Didn't the robots from Space Truckers look like the what race was that from Mass Effect? Didn't it look like those guys? The robot guys? Didn't those robots from Space Trucker look like those guys from Mass Effect?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the game is fun. He says he likes it, and there's different. It's quite big. It's a big game, but yet it's a small game. If you really like focus, there's lots of skill trees and stuff you can do. Replayability is high. I don't think it's co-op though. I don't think it's co-op or you can play multiplayer or anything like that.
The Geth. I think they're called the Geth. Geth.
The Geth it's the Geth in Mass Effect.
It's robots. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Things come to me. They just kind of pop in there. I got to get the word out, otherwise they'll just get lost in my mind.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the smorgasbord of games I've been playing. Maybe next week I'm gonna try to finish.
I don't even know how you keep playing games, bro. How do you play games when there's all these new games coming out? How do you keep playing games?
I mean, I played all those games for the low price of $18 for Ubisoft Plus and $20 for Game Pass. So for $38, I played all those games, right? But I'm not playing them. I'm just like, so yeah, that's what we've been playing. So let's get to the top stories. All right, Krebsy says day one. Let me bring this up. He says day one is the day the game is playable by the public, early access or not. Oh, I agree with you, but the jargon is people that paid $120 get early access. The people that pay the standard price get it day 4, day 5. I don't know.
So mental.
It's ridiculous.
3 days early. You're mental.
Akuta Papa says 30. That's a great value, even though you are a child for using Game Pass. That's right, because we know why. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about. Let's start off with Space Marines, right? Let's start off with Space Marines. Okay.
All right.
So Space Marines.
So to keep myself at bay, for me to not buy the game because I know I don't want to buy it in the condition that it's in, which is not really finished.
Right.
Is I just played Dawn of War 1.
Well, here's the thing. I watched some gameplay today. It looks like a fucking blast, right? It looks great. Okay. But because a thing looks like a blast and looks like fun and I want to play it,
It
okay,
looks good.
I can't let it slide because it does everything else the other games that I also hated that they did it, okay? And I don't want to do it again, okay? And what I mean by this is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, right? You pay for it, okay? And then you have to wait for seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 because all the content's free, okay? So if you pay for Suicide Squad day 1 at $70, okay, you have to wait 9 months, 10 months, 12 months for all the content to be in the game, and then you can play the entire game, right? Star Wars Outlaws, okay? I paid $18 instead of the full price, but if you pay the $70, you pay the $70 now, and then you pay $120 or $130, whatever the hell it is, and then you can't play that content until they put it in the game, and then you're waiting 8 to 12 months for all that stuff to get in the game, and then you can play the whole game. Space Marines 2, we watched Force Gaming's review about it yesterday on stream, and I said leading up to that, because we didn't know much about the game because they didn't really talk about it, right? I said as long as the co-op works, I'll most likely get the game because I want to play with you, right? Because we just like Halo, right? Halo didn't have co-op at the beginning, and we've never played Halo. We played it that one time. We've never gone back, right? It's just something's missing. Okay,
It's just.
So
I mean,
right. So Warhammer comes out. Here's all the stuff. 6 characters to play and level up and grind. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Skill trees and weapons, cool. PvP, not really interested in PvP anymore.
Is it 6 characters?
There's 6 characters in there, yeah.
What are the 6 characters? I thought
I don't. No, there's
4.
there's 6 characters.
All right,
Okay.
so what do you guys, while 30's still talking about this, can you guys put the 6 characters for me in the chat?
Right. So
Go ahead.
there's the 6 characters that you can play. Unless I'm mistaking, it's 4 characters and 6 levels. I thought it was 6 characters with six levels. Anyway, as he was talking about the review, he said that he's having a blast. He's like 50 hours in, he loves it, right? He's like, this is great. He's playing co-op. He went through and he said, but there is a big if here because as he was playing through the game, okay, he has the character he's playing, he says to grind one character all the way to max level is going to take you around 7 to 8 hours to do. That's not the bad part, right? He says he wishes it was about half that, okay? But he says the problem with it is that you're only doing that in 6 levels because there's the campaign that you're paying for, and then there's 6 co-op missions that you do that are inside the game, okay? So to level up all the characters and do all the things that you'll be doing it about 30 times each for just those 6 levels, right? Each, if you rotated through them, okay? So you're only playing the same 6 missions. And if you're not interested in PvP...
Are the 6 missions fun?
He says they're fun because, but they get pretty tiring when you're doing it over and over because you have the same different characters that you're playing the same content, right? So I look at that as like Destiny 1 when it came out, right? With the strikes and how many strikes they had, and you're running just the strikes, even though there's like the campaign, and then there's the strikes that you run and whatnot. So that's what it feels like, okay? And I went, wait a minute, the Horde mode's not in the game? And he said, no, the Horde mode doesn't come until late 2025. There's other game missions and stuff that they're adding. There's more co-op missions they're going to be putting in. There's more weapons and stuff they're going to be putting in. And I went, so wait a minute, I'm paying $60 or $70 today, and they're giving all the stuff for free. It's all stuff that's free. The only thing they're charging is like cosmetically stuff for the game. So all the stuff is free that's coming out for the season pass, but you got to wait till 2025 to get the Horde mode. So I went, well, why do I want to pay full price now? So I'm not getting it. I'm not going to pick it up right now because I have plenty of games to play. I don't need to pay $70 and then wait 12 months to the game to finish, right? There's already games I already paid for, and I waited 12 months for them to be where it is, right?
5 years, I can wait 6.
Right. So here in this article, it says that Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines 2 performance analysts are blurry upscaling, mushy graphics, and so-so frame rates, okay? It says it's been 13 years since Warhammer...
It's doing a lot. That's why, man.
Well, sure, but
when you're dealing with a Tyranid swarm, there's a lot of CPU usage going on there. I wouldn't be surprised if your fan on your computer just doesn't stop running like a chainsaw when you're playing that game.
So Dark Taco says 6 classes, but Krebsy only names 4. So,
No, Travis named them.
oh, did he?
Tactical, Assault, Heavy, Bulwark, Sniper, and Vanguard.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, chat. It says it's been 13 years since Warhammer 40k Space Marines was released, but the long last, the third-person shooter slasher has a sequel to its form Space Marines 2. Graphics and engine technology have moved a lot since the era of PlayStation 3 and the 360, and you are now live in the world of ray tracing, upscaling, and frame generation, bucking modern sensibilities. Somewhat Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2 only follows one of these trends. It says developers Saber Interactive had 23 years to experience, but its also most recent game that's similar to Space Marines 2 is World War Z. Both involved in massive hordes of enemies and wade through the destroyed, but both involved cooperative squad-based gameplay in terms of rendering technology. Space Marines 2 is very traditional, with no use of the ray tracing, no lighting, no shadows, no reflections, at which your Radeon GPU might as well be having a sigh of relief. But it does mean that Space Marines 2 is guaranteed to run at a high frame rate, and older and lower tier hardware and recommended hardware requirements for are 60 frames at 1080p. Ultra settings include the Ryzen 7 5800X and the GeForce RTX 3070. While these aren't the latest generation of chips, they're also not exactly the slow either. So as soon as they see the clear development, targeted 60 frames for most gamers played on Space Marine 2. So it's hitting stuff, but it's chugging along even on the pretty high end stuff. Obviously, I have a 3060, so I can't run it at the highest frame rate because you need a minimum of 3070, or whatever. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed because I just want a game, man. Make a game, sell a game, right? Like the game looks beautiful. It does. It looks awesome. It looks fun. It looks like a grand old time with people that you would play with. I just don't feel like grinding 6 missions over and over.
Well, what I always look at when I look at these kind of games is the scope of this type of game. They always have a problem trying to build a game because there's too much in 40K and they don't know what to do with it because the scope can get out of control very quickly. Like for what I'm seeing in videos and how the game is played, this type of game has the word live service for me written all over it, because if you are a Space Marine chapter and you're leveling up your guys, if the Battle Pass live service system is what it's supposed to be, or even if it's old school lingo like saying it's DLCs, like the Marines chapter's job is to go places where they're needed and destroy everything that's there, right? So whether it be Tyranids or Greenskins or Chaos, like you could be going to different regions the whole time. It doesn't have to be the same 6 missions. If this is how they start it, cool. But the scope of the game should be like I max out my guys and I go to different war planets and I'm doing different things. You can keep the game going forever, right? The issue they've always had with 40K is they don't know the box in which to put the type of game in order for players to get out of it. Like if you've played Vermintide, if you played Darktide, if you played these other games and it's the 4-player beat 'em up thing with the hordes of guys coming at you, it's fun, but like that's 40K. There are hundreds of thousands of guys always fighting on every planet all the time. That's the scope, right? It's not about hanging out at a bar talking to some dude. Like the entire 40K universe is so twisted, right? It makes most sci-fi movies look like a Disney film, right? It's just that crazy, right? Barely human, modified to biblical levels, right? Huge guns, huge bolters, fighting against terrifying animals. Like it should be amazing. And the visuals should be amazing. As I said in chat,
it looks
it's 40 fucking K.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal.
If you don't give me the scope of what it is to be in 40K, then I'm not interested, right? That's just how it is. Like the game should speak for itself, right? I hope it does really well. I hope the patches come out, and I hope that the scope goes along with you running a chapter, building your force, and going to different areas.
Right now, on Steam DB charts, it's 113,000 players right now. 134,000 people were the peak today so far. So with those numbers, I'm assuming it sold somewhere in the 3 to 4 million range as of right now.
The first Space Marine I thought did well. I'm not sure what the numbers were for sales, but once again, The
3 million,
40K
3 million.
universe, the 40K universe is not a Halo IP. It's not an everybody's going to play it. There is a group of people who understand what 40K is and will play their games, right? Vermintide probably did decent, but it didn't do amazing. Darktide did decent, but it didn't do amazing. It's like that's how it is.
Right.
Like
Well, these games go on sale pretty fast when they
I understand. What I'm saying is they have the possibility of making Space Marine a very strong IP. It has a lot of meat on the bones. There's a lot of avenues you can go to. The scope of the game is good. The lore is intense, and the action's amazing. It has all the pillars on which to prop up this type of game for the long run, right? Every time they try to do it, though, they always fuck it up to the point where you lose them. You're losing the masses, but you're still retaining the people who love 40K.
Sure,
They haven't been able,
baked-in audience. Yeah.
Yes, they haven't been able to cross the bridge yet and get mass people to actually want the game because of its shortcomings.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people that know Warhammer, they're probably people that never played Warhammer, but they know about the figurines that people paint.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's the debate that's been going on for years, right? The debate that's been going on for years is this. I'm buying models and painting them, right? Costs a lot of money. You have to have a friend who also buys the models and paints them.
Right. Thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Right. It's hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. Well, no, I'm talking about a business guy, not as me, right? If I want people, since people are buying $100 skins anyway, right? Right. So if you're buying $100 skins, how far is it for us to buy Warhammer guys digitally in game? I get to paint them in game. I have to pay for each of the characters. I'm paying for skins anyway, right? Yep. And then we can have the actual tabletop game, war game, either turn-based or real-time on a match. That's what the 40K people want.
That's what they want. Yeah, yeah.
That's what they want. They want to be able to play their armies online with their friends because they can't fucking ship around all these fucking boxes everywhere, right? Why do I want all these fucking models if I can't play with them, right? So the digital version is what they want. This, to me, is like the stepping stone for that. An RTS with models that you paint yourself and do what you want. Like, that's what they want. But they won't give it to them because they can't destroy, currently, they can't destroy the business model of buying models and paints and painting them.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Right? It's a monopoly. I got it. But if they want to enter into like the masses, that's how you would do it.
Well, right? Here's the thing that I look at business when I look at certain games. Obviously, if you're a fan, like obviously I didn't pay full price for Star Wars, right? Because I don't think the value's there for what they're offering, right? Warhammer, I don't think the value's there for what they're offering. It's almost like a Call of Duty, right? I haven't played Call of Duty or bought the campaign of Call of Duty since 2009 or 2011. 2009 is when Modern Warfare 2 came out, right? I don't buy it because I'm like, $60 at the time. Now it's $70. I'm like, it's the campaign. And then after I'm done with the campaign's short. This campaign's super short. It's like less than 6 hours. And Force Gaming.
They forced themselves through it.
No, he did not. He said he took his sweet ass time and they did it at 5 hours and 45 minutes. Okay. He said he didn't rush through it. So the campaign's short. I actually watched someone play it earlier. He did it in less than 5 hours and 40 minutes. Right. So that's short, and then the rest of the game comes out by next year, right, with the horde mode and other stuff. And I'm like, I can wait. Like, why do I have? If I waited this long for the game, what's 12 more months to get the game that what I think the value is? Now, each their own. If you want to pay $120 and you're having fun with the game, by all means, go ahead. But I don't want to do it anymore.
It does pain me to say it though. Like, I really like 40K.
I know you're the bigger fan than I am, so.
Right. If I were to show you the pile of models that I have for Epic, I don't have the 25mm. I have the Epic version because I like controlling like vast armies. Right. I have so much plastic like that I need to sell it. Like I'm never gonna play all the stuff that I have. Like I need to go online and sell it. And from what I can tell, the prices are insane, and I'd always undercut those prices just to get rid of it. But like I love that 40K stuff. Like my whole thing was Tyranids. Like I wanted to play Tyranids, and only in Space Marine 2 that you could play Tyranids. Like I would like to see when you play multiplayer, like not right away. I understand this because you're playing Marines versus Marines, but I would like to see down the road, like what they have on mobile, but on the actual PC or console, which is I have an army of group that I want. I have Tyranids. You've got Marines. Let's fight it out PvP. Right. I mean, how much more closer are we to like, I'm putting guys on the table. Let's do this. Like, that's what it is. Right. That's what it is. But the entire scope of it to me is intriguing. Like, I want to play it. I do want to play it. But as you said, I waited this long.
Right.
And to me, it's not. What's another year?
Look, that's only 40 more episodes of Generation X gaming by the time the game is complete.
I mean, I'm willing
it goes by super fast.
I'm willing to bet that during the Black Friday sale that this game goes on sale.
Right. Well,
I'm willing to bet.
Look, Space Marines 2 was originally said it was going to be on Game Pass, and then they took it off, and they didn't say anything about Game Pass.
That's correct.
And now it's out. So I don't know, March, Game Pass, April,
March
Game Pass.
Depends on how much it sells. It depends on how much it sells.
Sure.
Like,
that's why it's not on Game Pass, because they said let's see how it sells before we decide to go to Game Pass.
What's the sales for the first game?
Oh,
do we have those numbers?
13 years ago. Hold on, let me see.
The first one's 13 years ago? It wasn't 13 years ago, was it?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
I think so. 11 years ago?
Space Marine 1 was 13? No, come on, bro.
Yeah, Space Marine. Yeah, I think
you have to say it 3 times, guys. You got to say Game Pass 3 times in a row, and then Mo will show up. You can't just mention it. You got to just say it.
Do we have? I don't even think they have. Okay, wait. Let's see. Space Marine release date. The release date for Space Marine was
12 years is a long time, Taco. Right? 12 years is a long time.
Yes, Warhammer Space Marine was September 6, 2011. 2011.
2011.
Yep. 2011, and it looks like it only sold 1.2 million copies.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, all right. Well, hold on a second now.
Times $60. Is that across all platforms?
Hold on a second. Yeah, it's across all platforms. Let's see.
Well,
hold on. Let's see. The anniversary edition. Oh yeah. Okay. So the Warhammer 40K Space Marines 1 anniversary edition. Okay, peaked at 12,000 on Steam.
So 1.6.
Yeah, 1.6. Okay. Now let me look. That's the anniversary edition. This is the Space Marine 2. Yeah. So they've already 10 times what they had for the first game into this game, right? So this game is in the stratosphere. So if that made 1.4, 1.2 million, whatever sales, this is definitely.
You said 1.2.
I think that's what it said. Let me see.
All right, so $72 million is not a lot of money.
1.2, yeah, 1.2 million.
So, but times $60 because it was $60 back then, right? That's $72 million. That's not a lot.
Right, I don't know what the budget is and whatnot.
Right?
But
I don't know the budget, but this is what I'm saying.
Right. So Space Marine 2, the Steam DB charts is 10 times greater than the last game already on day one.
Well, that's good.
Right. So it sold about 2 to 3 million copies, I would say.
That's also good.
Right.
Right. But because they actually took the time to do it. I thought the green skin one was good. I saw it, but once again, it's like it doesn't everything doesn't just wow me anymore.
Right.
Like I'm looking for what I guess what you would call I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for the total package though. I'm looking for you.
Make a game, sell a game.
Right. If you're gonna pick 40K, then let's do this. Just do it the correct way. Right? Just do it.
Look, Dark Taco, I have no problem with the game itself. Just like all the other games I talk about, I don't have a problem with Warhammer 2, okay, or Space Marines 2. I have a problem with the business model. I have a problem with the game industry today where you buy a game at the price that it is and you don't get the complete game. That's my problem with the video game industry today. I give you my money up front, but I have to wait 1 year, 8 to 12 months to get the full content that I paid for.
And that's if the game survives.
Correct. Right? That's if the game survives.
That's if the game survives.
Right. So it has nothing to do with I don't have $70 to pay. Yeah, I could pay for $70 for a game. The question is, do I want to be a consumer that pays $70 for an incomplete game? Not to say incomplete meaning broken, buggy. Incomplete gaming, they have all the content that they haven't put in the game, and they're spreading it across 12 months because they want to keep you engaged with the content, right? And that to me is not a full game. So I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for this. I'm not doing it for another game, right? Like I didn't purchase Suicide Squad. My brother-in-law gave it to me. We had a long conversation after that. I said, "Don't buy me games anymore. Give me a gift card so I can choose what I want to pay." Okay. I didn't pay full price for Outlaws because Ubisoft decided they didn't think the game was worth that price. That's why they put it for $18 on Ubisoft Plus, and that's why I'm playing it, right? So I'll probably buy it down the road once it's complete.
They needed a gateway game to get people into Ubisoft Plus.
Of course, right.
So you have to pick a good title. You're not going to get people to go into a Ubisoft Plus with a mediocre title. Outlaws is a good way to get people into an $18 monthly fee.
Eclipse says, perfect thing, Wukong, $60 game with everything in it, 70 hours of gameplay, anything deserves a game, right? All the stuff is in the content, right? Now they're going to make DLC to add to it down the road if they want, right? When you buy that game, miraculously, you don't have to wait 12 months for the game to be complete. It's complete on day one when you purchase it, right? So that's that. All right. Let's go to the next story, which is the big story.
I love 40K. That's why I keep playing Dawn of War. I play Dawn of War 1 with all the mods. They've got a lot of mods.
Do they?
Yeah.
The next story I want to talk about, since last week, Sarge, we went from Concord coming out, and it was day one. It was in the middle. No one was playing it, right? They maxed out at $6.97 on Steam, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's got to be more. It's got to be more on PlayStation. PlayStation guys, there's got to be at least 2 million people playing the game, right?" What does this say? Concord is estimated to have sold only 25,000 units. Okay, 25,000 units total. That's with PC and PlayStation. Okay. And this makes me chuckle inside because all of these, it doesn't matter what side you are. We're talking about the Sony ponies today and not the Xbox. Okay. The Sony ponies say all the time that Xbox, they don't buy games. They don't buy games. Not only does Sony not buy their own games, they've now made this game the worst game in the history of being released only to the day before. And the day before was independent developers that were lying throughout their asshole.
But the day before,
right? Right. Was so good.
What a great scam that was.
This is a triple A game that they came out and they're like, "Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about." One guy bought it, took a picture of it on Twitter and said, "I can't wait to go play this awesome game." 2 days later, closed down. They have here's the thing that Sony came out with, an important update for Concord. Okay. All these people are like, "I love this game. Game's great. There's plenty of people playing. I have plenty of people," right? Apparently Sony disagrees with you. Okay. Because Concord fans were listening closely to your feedback. All 25,000 of you. Okay. Think about that. Okay. Since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5 and PC, and we want to thank you everyone who was joined in the journey aboard this North Star. Your support and passionate community has grown around the game and was meant for the world to us. Here's the thing. This sounds so fucking hollow, okay? Like they're talking to millions of people, right? All the millions of people out there, we love you. We thank you for your support. You had 25,000 people, okay? There's people with YouTube channels that get more viewership, okay, and make more ad money off the ad revenue off those people than you did off of this game, okay? It continues by saying, however, while many qualities of experience resonate with players, we also recognize that the other aspects of this game and initial launch didn't land the way it was intended. Oh, I think it did. I think from their point of view, it landed exactly how it was supposed to land. But from our side of consumers not purchasing the actual game, it didn't work out for them, okay? It says, therefore, at this time, we've decided to take the game offline beginning September 6th, okay? I would play taps right now, okay? This is unheard of. This is all the games that we've talked about that were shit in the past year. Redfall, Gollum, King Kong, right? They go on and on, right? On and on. These games got lasted, and they had people are like, "Oh, there's only 1,200 people playing." They had 700 people concurrent and 25,000 total in this. This was the worst car crash I've ever seen if a video game company ever had, right? And
it's impressive. Impressive.
Now, they're exploring their options, right? It's like a bad breakup with a girlfriend. It's not you, it's me. We're just trying to feel it out a little bit. It's not you, customers. It's us. We have to grow. We have to learn from this. Okay, so we're looking to explore our options, including those that will better reach our players. Okay.
Yeah, nobody wants to play fat, ugly people in a team shooter.
That's right. For $40. For $40.
Right.
In a place where I can get it, where I can play for free to play with ugly people if I wanted to.
To play heroes.
Right.
I can play heroes. So my tagline is, I don't want to play with fat, ugly people and pay $40.
Right.
That's my tagline.
Okay. They continue by saying, while we determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will will cease immediately and will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game on PlayStation 5 and PC and purchased the game on PlayStation 5 from PlayStation Store. Well, everyone's getting refunds except the people that got physical copies. The physical copies, they have to go back to the store and say, hey, look, I bought this game, and, well, they closed it.
But what are they going to say? Sony said I could come back?
Well, to be honest, back in the day, you had 14 days to return the game, right?
10.
Whatever. It closed at 9. So...
You're still in there.
So you're in that window.
You're still in there.
The company, and I said, as soon as people came in my chat, they're like, Concord's closing. It was like Tuesday. I was like, if you have a physical copy, I was like, because I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to a podcast just the night before on Monday, and someone said that a big box store. He goes, I have a friend that works at a big box store. He's like, I
took all the copies.
No, he said I can't name the big box store. He goes, but he's higher up in the chain, and he looked at how many sales were in the region, like in all the stores.
Yep.
He said that it only sold 253 copies. Physical. 253. Now, big box store. What is that? Target, Walmart, right? One of them. Okay. To think that the entire nation only sold 253 hard copies of Concord. That is a collector's mint condition. If you have a Concord right now in a box wrapped in the cellophane that never been opened,
I mean, market's the market, though. They have to want the game, though.
Sure.
Game that you can't play. A game that you can't play.
But still, look, if they're DeLoreans are very wanted because they only made 1,000 of them, right?
I get it, but value is assessed for certain reasons.
But for collectors, this is a collector's item for the people that collect.
Sure.
Right? So if you're a person that's not a collector,
maybe.
Right? If you're a person that collected something, if you have a Concord controller right now, that's the game doesn't exist anymore. So you have something that they created because they were going to push this whole thing and they never pushed behind it. So the game is gone, right? So much so that people were talking about, articles came out on August 27th. Okay. August 27th. When was that? That was, what day was that, Sarge? That was last week. That was...
Dave, get out of here. Like right now?
That's
right now,
Tuesday.
Somebody's selling the Concord game.
There you go, for
25 grand.
For 25 grand.
Come on, man.
Right. So this is exactly what I said. I said on stream live, I said, if you have a copy of it, I said, go to the store, buy a hard copy, because there's only a certain amount created and shipped, right? Well, people are going to the store to try to find some. They're already gone.
Because the guys who run GameStop take them all.
Yes, the people at Walmart or GameStop took them all, and then they're putting them up on the thing, right?
Yeah.
But the journalists were telling us that people are just eager to dance on the grave of unpopular games. It's become a bad habit. No, a bad habit's becoming bad games. Trying to monetize you in some way, shape, or form, or put a game out and tell you that you're sexist and racist and misogynistic, and if you don't buy it, then
you have to play it.
Right. Where I don't know where it went wrong, Sarge, but in the old days, no matter what product it was, it doesn't matter if
the consumers told you if it was good or not.
That's correct. You made a good product, and if it was a good product,
the consumers told you the game
would
was
sell.
good.
It would sell, right? If it's not a good product, it doesn't sell.
Doesn't sell.
Right? The Apple guy who's selling apples on the side of the road doesn't scream at the cars going by saying, "You racist! You don't want to buy my apples." Right?
Right.
He's just got a sign that says, "I'm selling apples," and if you choose to pull over and buy those apples and go, "Man, these are delicious apples," I'm going to come back to that guy every time he has apples because I'm going to buy his apples because his apples were the best. Right? No. The racist apple guy on the side of the road is yelling at you. You're not sexist. You don't want to eat my apple. Okay.
Listen, man.
So it's just funny to me that Concord and everyone else is like, they're dancing on the graves of these games because I made a game. It should be popular. No, that's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
That's not how this works. I'm sorry your feels got hurt.
Right.
I said, but you made a game. It cost $40 in a free-to-play market. Your characters were not memorable, mediocre at best, and you're up against superheroes with free-to-play games and other games that have been in the market for 5 years plus. So your business model didn't work. Not to mention the fact that you didn't market it. I mean, it wasn't really marketed. You were just kind of hoping. You were hoping that enough people would just play your game amongst the other games like it and just get your money back, is what you felt. But instead, it flopped colossally, and now you have to eat it. But now it sends such a message, especially to Sony, who thought they could just buy an IP and throw it on up there, right?
Right.
But also not their money. So how mad are you? Right? How mad are you that you didn't make the billions of dollars off a game that you chased for 8 years, right? With taxpayer money from the grant that you got. How mad are you? I mean, it looks bad a little bit, but you were gambling, right? They were gambling. They were going for the gold. They just didn't get it. So it's just kind of like, we washed our hands of this one. Sony does everyone says Sony did the right thing by issuing refunds.
Well,
I got news for you.
That's what they should have done.
I got news for you. If you drive a car down a dead end street, there's only one way out. Right. You don't get to have credit for doing what's best.
Right. You don't get a pat on the back for doing what you're supposed to do.
The only answer is that. That's the only answer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Right. You don't get a pat on the back by going, Sony is such a good company. They get that's the standard. That's the standard. They should have given your money back. Okay. What I would have done if I was Sony, I would have just gave them credit for the in-game store.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah. So realistically, Sarge, I said that I still think they're coming back free to play, and they're gonna reevaluate the game. So? I do 100%, because I think that the money they put in, because they bought the company, right?
It's too big.
They bought the company, but they didn't pay for the game. You see what I'm saying? They bought the company.
I'm aware.
They didn't fund the game. The game was already funded, privately funded, by the way. Okay, and then they bought the company. Okay, so they're in right now a bit of money, but not too much money. So they said, let's cut the losses right now. Let's think about what we can do here. Okay, how do we get this? Because this is their first party title. Okay, hero shooter, and they said, well, what can we do? There's been people that have taken. Let me see if I can find it while we talk. People that made the character models. They put them in AI formats here. Concord
Krebsy,
AI.
Krebsy, the answer is obvious, right? If it's not your money, if you didn't spend the money on you don't care. You don't care. You only have to get back the money in a percentage wise, because you can write off a portion of it. You just need to make a certain amount of money back. Especially if they use grant money and then use their own money.
I'm trying to see if I can. No, that's not it. So someone they took the characters from Concord and then they redid them in AI, and they're 1,000 times better from AI, right? They're like really sexy looking badass characters, and they show you what they made.
But that wasn't the narrative.
I know that, right?
We want a bunch of average looking Joes who can save the world and want to charge you $40 for fat ugly people shooting at each other.
Right.
Why didn't everyone want to buy this?
Dave Langer says, 30.
Why didn't you line up?
Just give Firewalk the factions game and let them fix it and release that. No, that's not even better. That's not better. Just because it's factions of Last of Us factions, right? They had more longevity, right? Last of Us has ran its course. Let's be honest. Okay, I don't think people that played Last of Us.
How many remakes you need?
A single player game, by the way. I understand that they liked Uncharted, like PvP and whatnot, and other PvP type of games, but Last of Us 2 factions is not the answer. Okay, Concord, unfortunately, I don't think whatever it does, it can come out as free to play. It's not going to be all of a sudden have this massive success, but because we already know that PlayStation players don't buy their games, okay, because the number one games they're playing are third-party games. Okay, Fortnite, which is free, Call of Duty, which is free, right? Like they don't really buy the games. They're playing Warzone and all these other things, right? So I just think it's funny when people say that they buy their games and then they really don't buy their games. So if
No,
Concord,
you gotta give them benefit of the doubt. They don't buy crappy games.
whatever, they say they support PlayStation games. This is a
Well,
PlayStation game.
So what's the excuse? The excuse is it's not really a PlayStation game.
I
Is
don't
that the
know.
excuse?
If they come out with free to play, they have to change what the business model is, right? They got to charge for skins and battle passes and season passes and all this other stuff, right?
But what's the hook?
They
What's the hook that makes me want to play Concord?
Well, here's what I would do. Okay, you see how good the First Descendant's doing with their assets they put in that game, right? Like the character models are smoking hot, right?
Yes, because it's a Korean game. I got it.
Fantastic, right? This is what you do to save Concord. Okay, you take that same business model and you make
You sprinkle in some Korean magic.
You leave the game exactly the same as it is. Okay, because people like the gunplay and whatnot. Okay, they said it was good. Okay, but you make the characters so freaking gorgeous looking and badass looking. You go the opposite direction. You pander to the people that'll pay the money.
Victoria's Secret level,
whatever. Okay, you put it out there, and on top of that, free to play. And not only is it free to play for PlayStation and PC players, but they put it out everywhere. They make it a third-party game. Suck it up, Buttercup. Put it on an Xbox, put it on PC, put it on the thing, put it everywhere.
Make it possible.
Make it hot as possible and put it out on everywhere and get those microtransactions, baby.
Yeah, so basically Chad and Diane and a bunch of skids.
That's it. That's it. If Spectra Divide can charge $90 for shitty-looking gun skins day one before the game even works, Concord, which was a substantial game, like people liked to play the game. They're like, oh, it's a really fun game. But the masses didn't want to play it because of the $40 price tag and because of the he, him, she, her trash can was literally in the game. Okay? Those are all reasons why people didn't want to play the game. So now you go, you know what? Fuck it. Sexy ass characters in the game, free to play, put it out there, put even badder ass skins in there.
But do you think if they did that and it actually went over well, does that say something about the whole narrative now, or just the fact that we don't want to? Who
gives a shit? They want to make money.
I know they want to make money.
Well, then make money. That. Make money. Well, you want to make money? Make money.
If they wanted to make money, they should have.
That's right.
The target should have been make money.
That's right. If you want to make money, go get the money.
Alienate everybody.
Yeah.
And charge money in a free to play ecosystem.
You know what games did well this year? Stellar Blade, First Descendant. What's another game that was a badass character in the game, right? Assets and all, okay? All those games look great, okay? I don't see the problem. What's the problem? You want to make money, don't you, Sony?
There isn't. I don't have a problem, right? Yeah. I don't have a problem with the way the business model was because they knew how to make money. But what happened is you've got a fringe group trying to cause issues using whatever kind of funding has to do with DEI now, and they have to push an agenda. And so this is what you end up with. So I guess eventually someone will get fired. Someone will leave the team. Someone will have to be moved around because the purpose of a company is to make money. And if I can't get the player base into a room to buy skins, then the purpose of the product is meaningless. I have to get you to be in the game in order to sell you the products. And that's not happening. So we'll see what they do. You think it's going to come back? I don't think so.
I think it comes back for one more time, and it just fails again. It's going to fail twice. And that hard copy of Concord is going to go up in price and value on eBay.
And I'll tell you why it won't come back, right? Because if it comes back and it makes money, then it proves the original idea is wrong, and they can't have that. And they can't have that. They can't have it coming out that the original idea is wrong. So they would rather, trust me, they would rather kill this game and try again
Sega
than to reverse this and have it make money. I'm telling you.
Sega learned its lesson when they put the Sonic the Hedgehog out there and it looked absolutely horrendous. And everyone's like, what is that? That's not Sonic the Hedgehog. They went back and they reskinned Sonic the Hedgehog. The movie's the same. They reskinned Sonic the Hedgehog in the movies, and now there's 3 fucking films. The third one comes out just in a couple of months, right?
So does the player base get a thank you card?
They should.
No. Well, they should.
No, they should.
But they don't.
Okay.
But they don't.
But they saved that, right? But here we are. Sony coming out with never seen before. One of the worst things ever in video game history, like coming out and then failing.
It is in the history of
And all
gaming.
of a sudden, it's just washed away because Sony's like, well, we have Astro Boy or Astrobot. Astrobot's out, okay, and it's getting massive hits, 9s, 10s across the board. It's selling very well. We'll know what it sells, but reviews are doing very well for it. So Sony said, let's tell them the bad news. And ta-da, here's Astrobot, right? And they're like, oh, Astrobot. Goldfish are like, they go to this side of the thing. They're like, oh, the world's ending. This is the worst game ever. And they go, that's Astrobot? Oh, man, that's awesome. And they completely already forgot about Concord. They already forgot about Concord.
I'm telling you that it's not going to come back.
Yeah.
The ideology is protected so harshly that if it comes out that the actual idea is incorrect, it blows a hole in their boat.
Yeah.
They can't have that. The game's not going to come back.
I mean,
they would rather kill the game than prove themselves wrong. That's how that works.
Chat says that it's not coming back. I think it is because I think they can spend a little bit more money because the article that we read, the 84% of them being successful with a live service game with microtransactions in it is very, very attractive looking. Okay. So the amount that they put into that game to see if they can get that 84%, I think is very, very a big question. Now, from that, we have rumors, okay, that Sony, very positive, okay, very positive, Sarge, rumor, Sony is very positive about upcoming first-party live service game. I don't know if this article was before Concord or after. I'm joking. It was after. It says, as per recent reports, Sony is apparently quite bullish on its next live service game, Fair Games. Okay, it's the aftermath of unprecedented collapse of PlayStation's latest live service game effort, Concord. This development suggests that Fair Games could have a better shot at success as the crowd, but potentially very profitable live service space. Developer of PlayStation first-party team Haven Studios, Fair Game is billed as a thrilling competitive heist game. Although Haven also has formed about 3 years ago, the talent behind the studio makes the rather noteworthy as the Assassin's Creed veteran, and also leading the Fair Games development is the title formally announced as 2023's PlayStation Showcase with the action-packed CGI trailer, which strongly echoed the theme of popular games like Watch Dogs, Payday, and The Finals. Okay, so they have this game coming out that's in the works. That's just another live service game. It's not a hero shooter. It's more of the Finals type of thing. Okay, so it's like a competitive like game show that they're going to do, right? This might be better. We'll see what the character models and stuff look like. From that, we have that Destiny, or Bungie, I should say, is also working on Marathon still. And Marathon is in shaky waters right now because there's
shaky waters? No.
A lot of stuff. Rumored, by the way.
After the Concord thing, I will guarantee you that Marathon's delayed. Guarantee it.
Well, yeah, that's what they're talking about. So what's happening right now because of Concord, I think Sony like yanked the handbrake, right?
Absolutely.
And they're like
puts a brake on a Marathon.
Let's hold off for a second. What stuff do you have in your game? We just remove all DEI, all stuff that looks like we're pandering to one side or the other or gaslighting something. So they're gonna fine-tune comb it because they don't want to have this happen again, right? Because God forbid, Concord, they can recover from Concord. It's just a speed bump, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course it is.
But if you're making 6 live service games, okay, and one of them succeeded so far, which is Helldivers, and then Concord's the other one that didn't.
But once again, Helldivers is the bunny from Mice and Men. And George pet it to the point where he killed it because they couldn't let it go.
George, you're holding it too tight.
Yeah, they had to. They were strangling the bunny, bro. They wanted to make so much money from Helldivers because they were surprised. Like, oh my god, they liked the game. Quick, we have to do something. Quick, put some stuff in the game so we can make some more money.
Quick, get them signed up to PlayStation.
Before they wake up, quick. And like, dude, let it go. Just let the game breathe. No, pound it. Like, no, why?
Pretty
why?
Bunny, yes.
I love you, bunny. Like, why?
Yeah.
Just let the game breathe, man.
So now Marathon is struggling, they think, right? You have Fair Game that's coming out. You got a bunch of other stuff. So I think Sony right now has definitely gotten into some sort of meetings, right? I would assume.
Oh, there's meetings.
Yeah, they're talking about stuff. So we'll see what's happening because, again, Sony's very good at their single-player action adventure RPG type games, but the stuff that they've invested in remember they wanted 12 games over the next 3 years and they shrunk it, and then they shrunk it down to 6 till 2025 or whatever, right? So
Yeah, but all live service.
All live service, yeah.
Everything's live service. Yeah.
So they're seeing what they can pull off here, right? They're seeing what they can pull off. We'll see. Do they make fair game $40 or do they make it free to play? Okay. I still think the longer you wait, there's more games coming out by the day. Spectre Divide just came out. You got Deadlock that's coming out. You got Marvel's Rivals that's coming out. You have more games that are coming out every month that are free to play that are also going into that PvP market. It's becoming more competitive. It's becoming where you can't even charge up front for it anymore. You have to make a good game from the start, like a single player or co-op game that's free to play, but they charge you for microtransactions like a Genshin Impact or like the First Descendant or stuff like that. So the longer these people wait to put their games out, the harder it is going to get a foothold in that market, right? So from that, let me move on from Concord here, and we talked about the rumor Sony thing there. Okay, so here's some updates. We'll stick with PlayStation right now. Leaker shares exciting updates for PlayStation 5 Pro, the next state of play. Okay, so a credible insider claims that PlayStation 5 Pro will announce on either September 10th or 11th. Okay, that the new state of play. Right. The insider also alleges that the big state of play might air on September 19th or 20th later this month. And the upcoming state of play may feature significant first-party game reveals and potential world premieres. Okay. In here, they also talk about that people are thinking they're going to announce the PlayStation. And again, these are all rumors, speculations. Okay. But people are saying that they're going to announce the PlayStation 5 Pro they're going to announce this event later this month. They're going to show the event. And during this event, not only are they going to show the PlayStation 5 Pro, but they're also going to show some of the DLC for like the Spider-Man that might come out to promote the PlayStation 5 Pro, like to flaunt it off of why you should have a PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, obviously, there's rumors that swirling anywhere between $600 and $800 for this console or whatnot. You know, if we're going into a real good economy, so I don't know. We might see.
I don't think in this. I don't think in this economy that we're currently in, I don't see a lot of people buying a Pro unless you actually have the money. Like the same people that are going to buy the Pro are the same people that are buying $100 skins.
Sure.
Because they're in the same bracket. It doesn't matter to them, right? You're going to get the best of the best. But I'm saying in the masses, as far as mass adoption, I think you have a good. Your theory is credible that the reason why they raised the price of the PlayStation is because the Pro will be a little bit higher than that one, and then they're going to want to buy the Pro.
Right, and well, that's the continuation of this next thing, right? The next story is that Japanese gamers are turned to Xbox as Sony raises the PlayStation 5 prices, right? And my speculation is they sell more consoles over in Japan than they do over here, right? So they're like, well, this is my speculation, if they're coming out with the PlayStation 5 Pro later this year, okay, then they want people to make this choice of, okay, well, there's a lot of people. There's 60 million people that were from PlayStation 4 that haven't moved over to PlayStation 5 yet, okay? Right. So now these people are looking at, if they're going to come in as the Sony PlayStation and they're going to buy a PlayStation, are they going to buy a PlayStation 5 or are they going to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro? Well, if I look on the shelf and I see all of a sudden now the regular PlayStation 5, one, this does two things. If they raise the price, before they raise the price, people go out and buy it because they want to get a cheaper price before it raises the price, okay? Two, if the price is already there and now it's a higher price, now I'm in the market to buy a console. If this goes up $70 and then the next one comes out, as David Langer saying, is $600, you're like, oh, well, it's only $40 more or it's only $60 more. Right. So why don't I just get the PlayStation 5 Pro? Okay,
that's correct. If the difference in prices is too great, they'll go with the lesser one.
Correct. But if it's close,
it's an acceptable value, that the perceived value is greater for the Pro, then they'll get the Pro. That's why.
Right.
That's why I agree with you. That's why I agree with you. Why they did it.
Yeah, it's a smart move if that's what they're doing, right? And then Sony's even doing smarter because the rumors are that it's going to be a discless PlayStation 5 Pro. And then if you want the disc, they're going to charge an additional $70 on top of that to get the disc to connect to the Xbox, right? Make the problem, sell the solution. Oh, sorry, we don't have a disc anymore, but we know if you like one, then you could pay $70 for it, right? Right? Like that's what it's going to be, right? Yep. Even though right now there's people that have a PlayStation 5 with a disc drive, right? And they would trade that in so they can get a PlayStation 5 Pro and then pay additional $70 to get the disc drive to put next to that.
Yes.
But hey, whatever, right? Sony knows their clientele, hence why they keep coming out with peripherals and different things to keep selling them.
Yeah.
Right? How many ways can you play your PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But at least they know they have them.
Right. They know their clientele. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's say then we also have Destiny. Okay. Destiny has Rising is real. Destiny Rising is real. Hero characters with NetEase leading development inside claims. Okay. Now Destiny Rising is a new mobile game in the Destiny universe, and a reel with NetEase leading development. Insider Jeff Grubb confirms the announcement may be imminent. Okay. Yesterday, a prominent insider leaker, revealed that Bungie, that the studio famous for Destiny franchise, has been working on a new mobile game titled Destiny Rising. Now, I could have sworn I talked about this back in the day when NetEase gave them that money. And everyone's like, no, they're not making any game. They're only sitting on the board of directors, and that's why they give them the money. And yet, here's the game they've been working on for that $100 million? Is that what they gave them? No, not $100 million. Was it $100 mil? Yeah, it was $100 mil, right? They gave them NetEase like 3 years ago. They gave them $100 mil to, right?
Was it more? I think it was more than $100 million, but
right. So it says in partnership with Chinese tech giant NetEase, originally reported by in 2022. Despite the recent layoffs at Bungie, the project is very much alive, and the set is Destiny universe. The rumor ignited the wave of speculations amongst fans, and many wondering just how involved Bungie would be in the project. Now, with no mainline Destiny titles in development after Destiny 2, the studio is scaling back resources with smaller content updates. Many have questioning how much of Bungie's creativity influence will actually shape in this new mobile game. Another insider collaborates rumored Destiny Rising mobile game announcement soon, adding credibility to these rumors. Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb recently weighed in and confirming that the Destiny Rising is indeed real and shedding light on it, what players expect. And the latest comments, Grubb confirms that existence of Destiny Rising with NetEase heavily involved in the project. Right? So does this count as a third party? Because I know Sony fans don't like to admit that games are going third party, and it's not Sony, it's NetEase, even though they're working with Destiny and they're working with stuff, but it's not a third party thing, right, Sarge?
I mean, you just check the name on the game, right? When the game comes out, you'll see who's part of it, and you can just go from there. Like I don't understand what the differences is. You're gonna have the same cause and effect you would if it's a first party or third party title, whether the game is broke, buggy, unfinished, or something tragic happens to it, whether it's third party or first party, the same things can happen to it. So I don't understand the differences mentally for people, that if a first party title fucks you over as opposed to a third party that fucks you over, but they're both still on the same platform, to me it's the same thing.
Right.
Just saying. Right? I don't care if it's first party or third party. My thing is that if you keep claiming first party and it's yours and you don't care about it, and you don't nurture the IP, or you don't give a shit about it, but you keep claiming this is our first party title, like, but you don't follow through with a good product, then I don't care that it's first party.
Right.
I have witnessed many first party IPs flushed completely down the toilet for no reason. Like literally for no reason. And so I don't know what the planting the flag in the ground and trying to be an Xbox person or a Sony pony, whatever you want to call it, and like saying first party, like it. I don't know what you mean, because the game still just didn't work.
But people don't like when you bring up MLB The Show, they're like, well, Sony didn't put it on Xbox, it was MLB. If you bring up Horizon Lego, they're like, well, that's just a corporation with Lego, and Lego put it on Nintendo Switch, not Sony, right? And if you bring up anything that makes it sound like or shows that Sony's moving their games over to other platforms, the Sony ponies get really upset because like, no, that's not us.
Sony wants to
that's
make money.
not us, right?
But Sony wants to make money.
Well, of course they do. Because they're a corporation. That's what they want.
Yeah, they have the luxury of having a larger player base on a PlayStation platform. That's fact.
Right.
That's not a problem. But we all know this.
Right. This is all that matters.
Right?
Right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I sold 160 million consoles and Xbox only has 35 million consoles.
Right.
Right. It doesn't matter. Do I only want to sell to the 65, or do I want to sell to the 45? As don't I want that money as well?
Right.
Like, you can't tell me like the guys who actually work at Sony go, you know what? we want to make a bunch of games, but only sell it to people who have PlayStation.
We only want to sell it to these 60 million people that bought our consoles.
That's how, like, I don't understand how that works. So, like you're wearing the jersey for your football team. Like, I get it. You're backing your team. That's fine. But as this new way of gaming comes out, Sony will have no choice but to modify their sales in order to get a larger market, because people will have services instead of boxes, right? I know we all like our boxes. I love boxes.
I love boxes
but we
too.
Can't all, yeah, we can't all. You know, eventually it won't be there. Everything that we've learned for the last 10 years points in the direction of, I don't want to pay for hardware to sell you anymore. You got rid of the hardware as part of the software now. I don't get physical discs. That's gone. And now if I can still sell you shit and not sell you a box, then I would also like to do that too. A matter of fact, I would like it that I don't send you anything and you just give me $1.90,
right, $1, whatever,
$199 a month for the rest of your life. That's basically where you want to be, because that way our shareholders wouldn't complain about anything and there would be no such thing as a bad game, because even if the game was bad, I'm collecting $400 million a month. Hello, Game Pass. And so it doesn't matter. I'll give you a good example. If Concord was an Xbox exclusive, just saying, I'm not saying that it is, I'm not retarded. We've been talking about it for like the last hour. If Concord was a first-party title
on Xbox
by Microsoft, right, Xbox, whichever title you want to use, and they completely bombed.
Someone's hacking the system, Sarge.
Right?
Someone's hacking the system. Hold on a second. Someone's hacking in because you're talking and you're literally freezing as you're talking.
Usually.
Yep.
Right?
Nope, you're frozen solid. Microsoft and Sony have tapped into the resources. Yeah, you're glitching out completely. Sony's tapped into us. Sony, let Sarge go. Oh, there. Oh, nope. You are solid. Look at these. These are great screenshots, chat. Clip these. Clip this. Clip that. Yep. Yep. He's. That's it. Yeah, he's Max Headrooming. Yep. He can't talk. So I'll talk, Sarge. I'll talk, and we can come back to you when it comes back into your. I don't know if we should do this. Sarge, disconnect and reconnect. Oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad, chat. This is gonna be bad. If you can hear me, disconnect and reconnect. Sarge started talking about Concord and Sony, and all of a sudden it went to shit. Are you back with us? Oh, nope, you're still stuttering. Amazing. Okay. Nope. Are you good? Nope, you're still frozen. Disconnect. Disconnect and connect.
Back?
No, disconnect. Like hang up and call back. This is fantastic. Technical difficulties, chat. This is what happens when you talk about a company and they don't want you to talk about them. It always happens in the weirdest times, doesn't it? Uh-oh. Sarge can't get back in. Let me see. Nope. He can't get back in. Oh, here it comes. Are we back?
I don't know. You tell me.
All right, great. Go ahead. Concord. If it was exclusive on Microsoft, go ahead.
Am I back?
You're back.
I'm back on. Okay. Okay. So if Concord was a Microsoft exclusive, okay, right, and Concord dumped just like it did now, completely trash game.
Right. They wouldn't give refunds.
Right.
Because it would be on Game Pass.
Let's say this. It doesn't matter, because then Microsoft just goes like this. Oh man, Concord didn't do well. That's a shame.
Oh, that's true, because they have Game Pass income. Yeah.
Right. So $400 million a month, right? How much did it cost for Concord according to them? $100 million?
Like $100 million, right? Something like that.
I will take care of that for you for this month.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
What a rough thing you went through. We're sorry.
Yeah, well, that's why
Right?
they abandoned the other games as well. You know, they're just
Right?
like, yeah, whatever.
But this is my point. When you have enough people giving reoccurring money every month, it no longer matters that your game comes out destroyed. If it doesn't sell well, it doesn't matter. You take a percentage off the top to cover your bases and you move on to the next title. That's the difference.
Right.
If Game Pass and Ubisoft Plus and EA Play wasn't there, and this was solely based on I've got to sell games, these guys are in trouble. Like
Right.
studios would be gone, the guys would be fired,
which is happening.
Right? That's it. They'd be gone. But if you have the cushion and shareholders don't have to worry about it because you're making X amount of money every month, right? Shareholders are very happy. Well, how's the gaming division doing? All right, well, I don't have to talk about the games. We the last quarter we made $1.2 billion.
Digitally, we made this much money, right?
Yeah, well, standard $1.2 billion, another $2.3 billion in microtransactions. Like everything's fine, right? Yeah, we're all fine. Did the game fail? Yeah, no big deal.
Right.
It's not a big deal.
Well, look, I look at this as like the movie analogy. I always say 10 movies, 7 fail, 3 make it, one is super successful. That's the same thing.
But it's the same. But it's true though.
I know it's true. That's why I use it all the time.
True. But this is why I say a lot of times the big boys at the top of the pyramid here don't care that the game failed. They're disappointed.
Sure, they're like, oh man, can't buy that Ferrari this month. Gotta wait till the next quarter.
Right, but do you actually believe that they've lost money? Like lost it? Like you owe that money.
No,
they're in debt. You owe that money.
They've invested money, and their investment didn't pan out this time around.
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the next story.
So how long before they get fired? How long do they wait? How long do they wait before they fire the?
This is why I don't think they're. This is why I think it's coming back. I think they're taking the guys. Well, let me go back here so people are not confused that we're talking about the next story. I think they're waiting. They're talking right now. They're sitting back. They're finding out what can they do. They're looking for Plan B. Okay. If Plan B doesn't hit. Okay, if Plan B doesn't hit for Firewalk Studios and Sony, then they go to Plan C, which is the nuclear plan. Okay, which is half the studio gets fired, and then they move the other people over into other projects to help the other teams out so they can make those games and make sure those games are as good as possible so this doesn't happen again. But this is why I believe that Concord 2.0, if you want to say, okay, Rebirth of Concord comes out. Right? I joked about the other day. I said Rebirth should be the name of the game. They changed from Concord to Rebirth. Do something completely different. Okay, but that's what I think happens. I think they look at it because remember BioWare did it with Anthem. Anthem came out and Anthem shat the bed. And Anthem and BioWare and EA looked at it and said, well, maybe we could fix it. And they gave them another year to work on something. And then while they were working on it for that year, they said, nah, it's not worth it. Let's just cut it. And they cut it. Okay, think about that. They put a shit ton of money into it. They put more money into it to see if they could change it and fix it. Okay. And then 12 months later, they're like, all right, we've pumped enough into it. It's not looking good. Let's cancel it. I think they take 6 months here. Think about what they're going to do with Concord, re-release it in a time window they think that's a good thing. And then if it doesn't work out again, then it's over for them.
If this was a normal game, I agree with you.
What's a normal game though?
But because of the type of game this game has been put into, I do not believe this game will come back.
Well, since we're going from this story to before we go to the next story, I think it's time to, because people are talking about, let's talk about Pete Parsons. Let's see if Pete Parsons is still at Bungie. Is Pete Parson at Bungie? Yes, he is. Is Pete Parson at Bungie? Yes, he is. Did he buy a new car? Yes, he surely did. He bought 4 of them this week, so he did. As you can see, he added the Tesla Cybertruck. Okay, he added the Cybertruck. He added the Mercedes SUV there. He added Knight Rider kit. He bought kit this week. And the biggest one of all, he bought the Dukes of Hazzard big wheel. Yeah, the big wheel.
Yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard big wheel is one of my favorites.
This is all the cars he's purchased since they fired everybody. These are all the new cars he has bought. So that is the weekly check-in with Pete Parsons.
I like. We're getting close though. I'm pretty sure he's going to step down in November. I'm pretty sure.
I was wrong. I said that he would be gone within the week, and you said by Christmas. So
yeah.
So that's a lot more time to put a lot more cars on that page. That's a lot more cars you could add. Okay. So the next story I want to talk about is Outlaws. Ubisoft stock tanks to 10-year low after lukewarm Star Wars Outlaws launch.
Not tanks.
Look, I'm just reading the article.
I know, but they use these flagrant words to make it sound worse than it already is. It didn't tank. Like it didn't go.
Okay, well here, actually, no. I think it actually did that, Sarge. Ubisoft's price have tanked by over 10% in the past 2 days. Okay, following a lukewarm reception of Star Wars Outlaws. At the time of writing this, Ubisoft Entertainment SA stock prices at $15.50, a level not seen since December of 2014. The stock price puts the company's market cap just shy of $2 billion at 1.99. The stock price drop follows the release of Star Wars Outlaws, which is also released in a mere 4.9 user score out of 10. I like how they had to add that. Like, what kind of moron thinks a 4.9 out of what, 100? Do they think? You don't use fractions of. It's a 4.9 out of 100 scale. Like, what? No, we know it's out of 10. Like, what are we talking about? Anyway, Metacritic as a result.
High 4 though, bro. It's a high 4.
Yeah, okay. It's 4.9. It's halfway. It's mid, right? Led JP Morgan slash sales a forecast by 2 million units, predicting that 5.5 million units sold by March of 2025. So they were predicting that it was going to sell 7.5 million by March of 2025. Okay, and it could be 4.9 out of 5. Well, let's break down the English language here, Langard. Okay. Why would you think when they say the stock price drop follows the release of Star Wars Outlaws reach a release a mere 4.9? If you think they scored a mere 4.9 out of 5, they wouldn't use the word mere in front of it. Okay, so stop it. Okay, so they thought they were going to make a 7.5 million sales by March, but the projection of it is now 5.5. Okay. The English language is really difficult to understand, but you wouldn't put mere in front of it.
Okay, I'm looking at the stock price now, right? And this is what I love about how things are the perception of things, right? I'm looking at the sheet right now. So the scaling of this shows from $15.60 to $15.25, right?
Right.
So when you're at that scale and you're showing the stock price do this for the last couple months, right? And then all of a sudden it does this. Right, and then it's like, oh my god, but really that's 20 cents. You know what I mean? Like, they make it
for the
sound
company.
Like
for the company, it's big drop for market value and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Yes. The stock's trading at $15.24. It was at $15.54. So yes, tragic 30 cents came off the stock price.
Okay.
Like it's not cratering,
fine.
right? Like if Ubisoft's stock price is $15.24 and this game came out and it went down to $5, then I would say yes. The stock price cratered.
Right.
But you want to know what? Because it only affects a certain aspect of people's perception of the company, not the overall health of the company. Its market cap is still good. It maintains profits over the last couple of quarters. It's not like people are going to look at the stock price and freak out. They just do that to stir up nonsense.
Well, to get people to sell and whatnot. If Shadows comes out and it has a lukewarm reception like Star Wars, then Ubisoft can be like, okay, we need something going on here because we can't have 2 quarters with the thing doing this, right? It's not doing Rocketeer. It's just doing like mediocre, still rising up. Yeah, it's a 4.9 out of 100. Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, so the next story, Sarge, is a continuation from last week when we talked about Paul Tassi wrote an article and said he had a source that said that the source told him that Xbox, it wasn't a limitation thing. It wasn't the S that was holding it back. And Game Science, the developers, said that it wasn't on Xbox because they were doing optimization for it. Okay. He came out last week and said there's an exclusivity deal that happened behind the scenes, is what his source said. So now we have this week, he wrote another article confirming what he wrote last week, and I'm going to read it to you now. Okay, it says Microsoft confirmed Black Myth Wukong delayed not due to platform limitations, comments on exclusivity. Okay, so in a statement given to Microsoft representative, the company has confirmed that the delay of Black Myth Wukong is not due to technical issues with Xbox platform, and instead, similar to the original statement, points to outside platform/developer deals. Okay, the statement reads, quote, as we have said before, we're excited for the launch of Black Myth Wukong on Xbox Series X and S, and we're working with the game science to bring the game to our platforms. We prefer not to comment on the deals made by our partners with other platform holders, but we can confirm that the delay is not due to Xbox platform limitations and has been raised to us. Okay, so what Xbox is saying, look, everyone's saying that the reason that Wukong is not on there is because of Xbox's problem, and that is not the reason. Now, it's not to say that the S isn't the problem, but for this specific, for this specific thing,
both things can be true.
Correct.
Both things can be true.
Correct. But the actual statement is it delayed because of the S? Xbox is saying, no, it's not because of limitations. It's because of some other thing that we can't comment on because we would like not to comment on other people's deals, partnership deals. Okay. So now he says that. So now Sony has some sort of exclusive deal that they paid, if it was maybe to optimize the game or whatnot. Now, what I have here is a problem because Game Science came out and said that, yeah, the reason it's not on Xbox is because of this, okay? And then the person came out and said, no, it's not because of this, it's because of exclusivity deal, okay? So now I was thinking about this, right? From last week, even last week, I said, why would Paul Tassi lie? I said, who am I supposed to trust? Am I supposed to trust the journalist or am I supposed to trust the developer who's working on the game telling us one thing, okay? So now he wrote this, right? Now, I'm going to read a little bit more, but before I read it, why would Paul Tassi lie about this, right? What does he get out of it? Because if it comes out that it's not true, then he loses credibility. He loses credibility, right? But if it comes out and if it comes out false, then he loses credibility. And if it comes out true, well, then he's not a liar, right? And he is true, and then he's doing the job that he's supposed to do. So it's like, why would he keep pressing this? Why would he keep pushing forward with this if it wasn't true? So I would have to think, as if I was a journalist, which I'm not, okay, that if I had a story, I was running with the story, that before I ran that story, I would want to make sure, or I believe that the guy that's telling me this stuff is a trusted source and is credible, right? Otherwise, you make me look stupid if I run this story and then it becomes false.
I don't think that he would do it for clicks, because if it comes out wrong, then he loses credibility and it hurts his reputation. Now, am I saying there's no chance that he's wrong? No. I'm saying that it's a possibility that he's wrong because maybe his source is not completely 100% behind it.
Sure.
But at the same time, amongst this fog of war we got going on here, both things can be true.
Correct.
Right? Like if the S, let's say it this way, if the S had no problem at all, but there was still an exclusivity deal, then it's because of the exclusivity deal. But if the S can't do it, but I still have the exclusivity deal, then I can't blame the S for not being able to do it because they're not going to get it anyway because of the exclusivity deal. Like there's things you can hide behind here where I'm talking about this is what the truth is, but that's also true.
Right.
Like, so you don't get your black eye from posting this because both items are true.
Look, you guys are saying that, well, Paul Tassi lies all the time. There's difference between, look, I give my opinion all the time. I am not a journalist. I just give you my opinion based on the articles that I read, okay? His articles, it says, in the very top, it's his opinion. There's a difference between his opinion and when he takes someone's statement and then makes a report on the statement, right? To say that he lies all the time, that's something that you just don't agree with in his opinions that you don't agree with or disagree with, right? So to say that he lies, that's not true, okay? And then and I'm not defending Paul here. I know I'm defending him now, but like when he's taking someone's statement and then reporting on that statement, that's a completely different thing than his opinion. This is not his opinion. These are facts that he got from somebody, from Xbox, from his source, from Game Science, right? And then making an article based on that. And that is the difference between opinion piece and something that he writes with actual sources.
But the issue with this is we're going to find out. We're going to find out eventually.
Oh, of course, it'll always come out true, right? So let me continue here. It says that this statement reinforces my earlier reporting that the issue with Black Myth Wukong delay release on Xbox is not the technical in nature and not because of some issue with the Series S, as many have speculated. As Microsoft is now saying outright, Microsoft did not comment on any specific of the deal between Game Science and Sony. But again, like their original statement, they have pointed directly at the possibility when making statements about the delay. He says, my report is corroborated with IGN, was disputed by the industry insiders who claimed to have heard that it was simply a PlayStation providing cash and resources for Wukong to make it on their platform. Here it is very much evident that such an exclusive deal does not in fact include traditional marketing and may not even have included a traditional payment, making the situation uniquely strange. It says, I have reached out to Game Science and Sony for comment and will update it if we hear back. Okay, so there you go. So since we reported it last week, I wanted to make sure we talked about it again this week to give an update for it. And as it goes, it is what it is. Okay. And again, you guys are saying, oh, IGN, they lie and this lie. If everyone lies, then no one's telling the truth. That's a problem, right? So the problem that I have is as a person that reads the news a lot, okay, I want to know who's telling the truth. I want to know who's giving me information that's worthy or not worthy. And to say, one person says it and one person says it, and they both contradict. Well, the truth will come out. At some point, the truth will come out, and they'll be like, well, that guy's full of shit, and this guy's not full of shit, right? It happens all the time. I'm just saying that you would have to think long and hard if it was you. Put yourself in that position. If you wanted to run a story, would you run that story just to get clicks and then ruin your reputation, or would you run the story because you believe it's true? That's my statement, right?
But the defense for both is, does it matter, right? Because one way or the other, we know that the S gets weighted. They wait before they can optimize it for the S. We all know this. Right? This has been talked about multiple times over the years now. So it's not a big deal for us to say now. So even if I took off everything else, we know the S can't handle it. We know this. So what would be the big deal? If it's exclusive or not, we know the S can't handle it. And if it did handle it, let's be honest, if the S could handle it, it would be released day one with everything else, right? It would be included. It'd be like, it's on this, and the S. But it's not, because we know.
Dave Langer says, why didn't you bring the Jeff Grubb comments? Is it in the article? I don't remember being in the article. If you have an article with Jeff Grubb saying something, then post it in Discord. He says, I would run the story for clicks if I knew the info would never come out.
The info always comes out.
But why?
It comes out,
to say that, how would you know that the info never comes out? Why run it in the first place? I don't know. It just seems a little. It seems a little weird.
Well, we will see. Right? What normally happens is the information comes out, but it's so far past it that no one cares.
Langer says that Jeff Grubb said, "quote No Sony money marketing deal keeping Black Myth Wukong off Xbox." That's not what the article's about. It's not about marketing. Marketing is a completely different thing. In the article that Paul Tassi wrote, he talks about helping them with resources and whatnot, which is completely different. You're not running an actual marketing thing and saying that it's exclusive. There's no exclusivity for PlayStation. But if PlayStation helped a company out by giving them resources to help it, and that company was trying to get on your platform, since you helped them, you would throw them a bone. That's how business works. You're like, well, they helped us out, so we should work on their version first to get it out running on their platform, right? It's not to say that it's a marketing thing. What Jeff Grubb is saying is 100% true, because Paul Tassi even said in his article, it's not a marketing. It's not a traditional marketing thing. They gave them money for resources and whatnot. It's unlikely, right? So what Jeff Grubb is saying is 100% true. And what Paul Tassi is saying exactly what Jeff Grubb is saying, that there is no marketing deal. It's not a traditional marketing thing.
We're going to see. We'll see eventually.
Dave, that's two things now within two articles that you said, well, it could be out of 5. Okay, and now you're saying that Jeff Grubb, why didn't you read his article? What he said is the exact same thing it says in the article. Paul Tassi said it's not a marketing thing. So I don't understand. We're grasping at things here that doesn't need to be grasped at. He said that Sony didn't pay to keep it off Xbox. Correct. They did. Oh, fuck's sake. I'm going to move on because there's a lost in translation somewhere happening here. Okay. No Man's Sky. Okay. No Man's Sky came out with an update, okay, and they added fishing to this, okay. Now, they added a bunch of stuff for fishing, so there's more fish Okay, in the game, more things that you can create, more recipes that you could do. They gave a fishing platform. Now it's not a real big thing, right? It's just another update, and so it's a small update, but it's a bigger update. And Krebsy said something the other day that got me thinking. He said, Krebsy goes, I think that the updates that they're doing to No Man's Sky is to test out things that they're going to put in Light No Fire. And I went, huh. I said that's plausible, right? That's plausible because all these other updates that they're doing, okay, where they're making the planets much more detailed, okay, they're making it much more detailed. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. So when you're on the planets, the clouds, the landscapes, the biomes, and now they're adding fishing and stuff. So my question to you, Sarge, is do you think it is plausible that No Man's Sky right now is a testing ground? Because there's so many people playing inside No Man's Sky, and Light No Fire is going to be this open world type of game. Is it plausible that they're using No Man's Sky to not only test out features and stuff that they're going to put in Light No Fire? Do you or like they already have all these thousands of millions of people potentially that are playing the game? They have testers right now that in their one game that they can use for the other.
Well, let me ask you a question: Is the engine for Light No Fire the same engine as
I believe so. Yeah, I believe
as
so.
No Man's Sky?
I believe so.
Because if the engine is the same, then I'd agree with Krebsy. It would be a good testing ground to test it out in a game that's already established. You got your player base there, and to see how they like it or don't like it, and if they needed to change it. That makes sense to me, especially if it's the same engine. I mean, I think Hello Games gets enough credibility now where we all know that it for them it was about the game, and they got pushed out too early because that basically set the standard for me and how I know that there are certain people out there that know that the game isn't ready and they don't want to do it, but they're made to, right? One is Hello Games. One is that studio. What was the studio that made the game and is now going on strike? What was the name of that studio?
Greedfall.
I'm drawing a blank.
Greedfall. Greedfall for the game. Greedfall. I forget
right.
the studio's name. Yeah.
The studio's name, right? So like same type of premise. Exactly the same type of premise. You have a development team who realizes that they're passionate about their work more than the corporate side of it. And Hello Games is part of that. So for me, whatever Hello Games is doing for the benefit of their game, I trust them because they can stand on their own now without having to worry about
right
an overboss, right? So I would say, yeah, I think that's good for them because you don't have to worry about doing like possibly an alpha or a beta. You can test out some of the engines and mechanics you're doing in the game you currently have, and that way you don't have to worry about putting up another game and causing stress and having to worry about what these people think about this next game coming out. You can iron out all the wrinkles prior to the release. Right?
If they're doing that, it's actually genius, right? Like put the stuff in the game that you already have, the open world game that you already have, right? And then work it out in those, test it out.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke at first when I saw it was fishing and No Man's
No, they added fishing. Yeah.
Oh, I understand, but it's like the meme now. Like a game comes out and then people add fishing to it. It's like a meme at this point.
Well, yeah, because I told my son, I go, oh, No Man's Sky had an update. He's like, oh, what did they add? I said they added fishing, and he's like, okay. I'm like, that's it. They added fishing. He goes, why?
Because
he doesn't fish.
Fishing is everything.
Yeah. I go, yeah, because fish. As I said, I go, because fishing is in all this stuff now. He goes, yeah, but what's the point?
That's like, what I said.
So you can fish, and he's like, that sounds boring.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I would fish, but
in every game, every game I've ever played where fishing was part of the game, was bored to tears. Right. Bored to tears. The only one I think I got the most benefit out of for fishing in a video game was Minecraft. Because when you fish in Minecraft, you find the books that give you the abilities for the magic powers.
Right. There's a point behind it.
There's a point behind fishing. Everything else is basically, I just want to take a break and watch TV, but also fish in my video game.
Right. The next story I want to talk about is Minecraft, right? Let's talk about Minecraft for a second. Minecraft, I don't want to show the video. I'm just going to show. So Minecraft fans deliver verdict on the divisive movie trailer. It looks like they ran Minecraft through an AI filter. Okay, now, I've told this story the other day. My son, I thought, would be super excited about Minecraft, right? Sarge literally talked to him before the show. He said, hey, buddy. He's like, the Minecraft trailer came out. What'd you think? And what did he say, Sarge?
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, horrible. And he's like, what do you mean horrible? He's like, it's horrible. He's like, it's not even Minecraft. Like, he's so upset that it doesn't look like Minecraft. Okay. And he even said, he's like, can they do what they did with Sonic? He's like, you think if people bitch? Well, he didn't say bitch, but he says, do you think if people complain about it, do you think they'll change it? I said, I don't know. It's probably too far along, right? One character is different than changing the whole entire world, right? So it says Warner Brother Pictures shared the first trailer with Minecraft movie, and fans of original game series aren't particularly fond of it. Okay, 83-second trailer below gives a first look at Jack Black, the protagonist, as Steve. Okay, now Sarge also asked him because he said, he goes, and Jack Black is Steve, and he has a beard. And what did my son tell you about his beard?
Yeah, he was very detailed about that. I'm going to get the details wrong because he said that, well, actually, Steve did have a beard and 1.16 patch. And then he said that when the Pigmen were released, and then after the Pigmen were released, after that patch, then they got rid of Steve's beard in the game because it looked too much like a happy face. And so they got rid of the beard so his face would look more normal.
Right.
And I'm just staring at my nephew. I'm like, how the hell do you know all that?
So what they
How
did,
do you know all that?
What they did was it was like a throwback, like an Easter egg type of thing. Like Jack Black has a beard basically because
he didn't feel like shaving it.
He's the original Steve, right? That's basically what he is, right? So look, I don't know. The trailer is awful. The trailer is awful, right? I don't know if they show a second trailer better edited and whatnot, but it just looks like Jumanji, right? It feels like Jumanji.
Like. Yeah, because Jack Black looks exactly like Robin Williams from Jumanji.
Yeah, and it's 4 people, and they come into this video game world, and that's a board game world, but which was a video game in the new Jumanji, right?
But the beats are there.
Yeah,
the same beats.
So it'll be very interesting to see if they do. Look, I said jokingly, I think this movie critics are looking at this trailer and they're like, oh, it'll make $300 million. I go, oh no,
it's gonna make $1 billion.
It's gonna make $1 billion.
It's gonna make $1 billion.
It's gonna make $1 billion
because there's too many kids that know Minecraft.
There's so many kids.
And what's the rule about it? What's the rule about a kids movie, bro? The rule about the kids movie is the parents have to take the kids, so the ticket prices are always higher.
Correct.
Because you have to pay for the kids and the adult to go.
Correct.
Now, both adults might not go. It might be dad taking them to the movies or mom taking them to the movies.
Right. They're rock paper scissors. Who's
right? But you're still getting that extra ticket.
Like, no, I took him to Garfield. No, you took him to Minions. Well, I'm taking. They have to take him to Minecraft.
No, I did Despicable Me. You're taking them to Minecraft.
Right. So they're gonna make boatloads of money if it's good or bad. Okay, it's sad because look, again, I'm not judging the movie. I'm judging the trailer. And the trailer, when Borderlands movie trailer came out, I said, oh, that looks bad. This makes Borderlands look like an Emmy award-winning, like TV show.
You think so?
Yeah, the trailer was awful. Awful. It doesn't even... My son's biggest complaint is, he goes, it's not even blocky. He's like, they curve the edges. He's like, the sheep doesn't look like that. The llama doesn't look like that. He's like, there's no blockiness. He's like, the only blocks you see are the moon and the house in the background when they show one of the houses. Like, he's like, the world doesn't... He's like, even the leaves don't look like they're from Minecraft, right? This is a kid that's played Minecraft for 7 years, okay? This is his world. This is his life. This is his Star Wars, okay?
Yeah.
Like, if he gets to walk in a world at Universal Studios or Disney World, if they ever make a Minecraft world, that would be like...
He'll explode.
Right. He would lose his mind, okay?
Yep.
Like, that was what Star Wars Land was supposed to be for us. Right? But now I go there and I'm just like, this is... It's like... Right. It was so upsetting to me, okay? Because when I saw the trailer, I was like, this is bad. But I wanted to show him. I said, hey, there's a Minecraft trailer. And I was like, I thought he was going to be super excited. And I think Warner Brothers just did my son's origin story for villain. Okay, like, I think he's so upset that what they've done to this, that they've now planted a seed of hatred, and he this is his origin story. Like, this is his villain origin story. Okay, like he's
back when I was 10 years old.
They
screwed up my Minecraft.
Yeah, they screwed up my Minecraft. This is it. Right. It's terrible.
Villain origin story. The kid is 10.
He's 10. Yeah. You should have saw the look on his face. He was devastated. Devastated. I was like, holy Christ, he's like me. But I'm 46 and disappointed in what they did to Star Wars. He's 10. They've completely drained him.
You had to wait 40 years for your disappointment. They
Correct.
did his.
Yeah, like 36 years before my disappointment.
They did his in 7.
Yeah.
So at least the destruction of culture is happening quicker.
exponentially faster.
That means a kid that's born right now will be completely and totally destroyed culturally by 5.
Right. exponentially faster. Yeah, I really do hope that this movie is good. I hope they do it. I hope the trailer is just a bad version and they cut it bad and they just try to get it out. They have to recut something. They have to do something to bring hope back into, because there's a lot of people that are really upset about this, that they want to do a Sonic to it. The people complain. They're like, you gotta fix it. I don't know what you're doing, but this ain't it, Warner Brothers. This ain't it.
Right, but let's focus on the positive. Okay, if they gave a shit about Sonic, right now there are people working on the new Minecraft trailer that don't work for the studio. They're going to show them what the Minecraft trailer should look like. This.
You know
now,
what?
Here's the question.
That's true. I hope that happens. Okay,
here's the question. The question is, how fast? How fast do they make a trailer that's better than the one we just saw?
Next week.
Next week?
Next week.
I think it's probably going to be a little harder to do.
We have AI technology right now.
I'll say. Where are we right now? What's the date? The 5th.
Where was your comment, Robert?
I'll give it 20 days on the 25th of this month. I'll give them about 2 weeks.
2 weeks? All right.
About 2 weeks, like 20 days.
Why does Jason Momoa look like that? Is that what you're talking about? What are you... Early comment about my wife. Hold on, let me see.
Did they put Momoa in a bun?
Is Jason Momoa playing a woman? Is he a woman? Like, that gets sucked into the video game and that's her character? Is that what they did? They did the exact same thing as Jumanji? Is that what you're saying? Like, what's her name? Karen Gillian? She comes in, she's actually a dude, but she's in the game, she's a girl? Is that what you're saying?
Please don't do that. Please don't tell me that. Then it is Jumanji. Then it actually is Jumanji.
Yeah, that's exactly Momoa's bangs will be selling point. Robert Jones, why does Jason Momoa look like a girl? Be honest, the fishing meant game.
He has glorious bangs.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange. I'm gonna skip over that. Let's see what else we got. You don't have to talk about that. Here's a story I want to talk about. I don't know which one you're talking about, Robert. Just type it again. And I'll look at it. All right. So one of the things about the rumors about PlayStation 6 and how is Xbox, the next console, going to work and whatnot. Well, Digital Foundry did something, and then they talked about it, and this is from WCC F Tech, but it says PlayStation 6 and Xbox Next could deliver the biggest generation leap with machine learning. Current generation has oversold. Okay. Sucks to be on a phone. While on PlayStation 6, the next Xbox console have yet to officially revealed, Microsoft's already teased it will be provided by the biggest generational leap ever. According to the tech experts at Digital Foundry, this is likely to happen with the help of machine learning. Speaking during their podcast, the tech experts discussed that yet to be revealed next generation system, saying that the machine learning is likely to play a big part in aforementioned generational leap. We are already starting to see both the PC and console space with the widespread adoption of NVIDIA DLSS, which is powered by the machine learning, and the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which is also introduced with the upcoming PlayStation 5 Pro. According to Digital Foundry, the surface has been barely scratched regarding what the machine learning is capable of. As of right now, it's been used for denoising ray tracing with NVIDIA DLSS and ray reconstruction. Many of the applications are being researched, such as materials and texture quality improvements, and even geometry. So some of these machine learning powered features could make the difference between a PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox over the predecessors, potentially making these systems the real 4K resolution, 60 frames per second machines that the current generation of consoles were said to be. Okay, at that point, Sarge, I mean, I'm just going to sit back and wait and hold my breath because they told me that this time around, and now they're going to tell me it again for the next time around.
Well, no,
right?
I guarantee you the marketing around the new system that comes out, I guarantee you is going to be all about AI.
Yeah,
They're going to make up they're going to make up a bunch of stuff about how AI is going to do this, and the other thing for the systems. It's going to be amazing. That's what's going to happen.
real quick. Let me read.
I just haven't figured out what part of AI is going to be involved in it, but AI is going to be a part of it.
Short story. Robert Jones says, short story. Wife is also upset about the live action Minecraft. She looks at the game, loves that game. Yeah. It really is. It's upsetting to a lot of people that are playing the game. It says, speaking about the current consoles, Digital Foundry has no doubt that both PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S were oversold. 4K resolution at 60 frames per second was impossible to achieve without PlayStation 4 and Xbox One level visuals. And this was also known from the start, mostly due to the insufficient GPU bandwidth. Other features that were also talked about before release ended up being the unused, as many of them were expensive to implement. With the machine learning likely to have the major impact of the future consoles like PlayStation 6, it'll be very interesting to see how the first introduction of the console space of PlayStation 5 Pro will fare. Thankfully, it seems like they won't have to wait so much longer, because obviously next week they might announce when they're announcing it. But so here you go. Corporations lied, right? Corporations lying to sell their goods, right? They told you that it was going to be 4K, right? 120 frames per second, but they weren't that. Right, and people come and defend it, no matter who you are. Right, if it's on the Xbox side, if it's on the PlayStation side, right? PlayStation, I mean, factually, does better than Xbox this generation with their games. Okay, but they're both lying about what their systems can do, because they had to sell you. They had to, snake oil salesman had to sell his oils. You know what I mean? So, and I said this before this even came out last year, and I said, someone says, "Are you going to buy the next Xbox?" I said, "No, I'm not going to buy the next Xbox, because if they tell me it's 4K and it could be 8K, they have to prove to me. They have to show the box, prove to me what the box can do, and then I'll be like, okay, it's actually doing what they said it could do, right?"
Yeah, I feel burned. I don't think I'll be buying it day one.
Right. So it's interesting that the machine learning is actually happening, but this is another thing, right? Like, does this make it easier? Does it make it harder for developers? Do they need as many developers to make stuff now with this machine learning stuff?
Well, like we talked about in the past, I believe that this is a very rough transition between the technological side of gaming and the human side of gaming. Like how they're treating actual labor in the market is pretty crummy at this point. But I also believe that if the people that are working on AI to help do the coding for software will definitely help expand gaming, because you will have smaller studios able to do more, and that way you won't be so over bloated with employees and budgets, right? That's, I think, what we're looking at. I think that we're just in a really bad transition period because of a lot of factors: labor, economy, chip shortages,
right? Because
health
of
the health thing,
pandemic stuff,
all this stuff that happened all at the same time. But I really believe that the actual market itself is very resilient because of the fact of how much money is actually in this market. This is not fictitious money. This is not like seasonal money. This is quarterly money that's involved in this form of entertainment. I don't think it's going anywhere. So we're going to see how this pans out.
Real quick, Eclipse puts out what Robert actually put. He says, "I told my wife there was a Minecraft movie, and she was almost excited. Then I said it's a live action, and she said, 'Why would they do that?'" That's exactly right. My wife said that. We showed her tonight at dinner, and she's, this is her face, right? She goes, "That looks good. That looks good. That looks good." And my son's going, "Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it." And then it hit the part, and I just looked at her, and she went from "that looks good" to "what is that?" And I started laughing so hard. And I was like, "Yeah, that's what he's upset about." And she's like, "Why would they do that?" And this is a person that she doesn't like Minecraft. She hates it. My son makes her play it, and she hates it. And she
chops down trees.
She just chops down trees. That's all she does.
Yeah, she chops down trees.
15 minutes tops, and then she's like, "I'm done." Yeah, she hates it. Yeah, it's hilarious. I feel bad. I feel bad for him. We'll see what happens with the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox Next or whatever. Someone said earlier in my earlier stream, I thought this was fantastic. I think it was Kylo Green said this, for the Nintendo Switch 2 that comes out, He said they should call it the Super Nintendo Switch, right? And I was like, oh, that'd be a perfect name. Can you imagine if they did that, Sarge, where they color it like the Super Nintendo, like the old Super Nintendo, so that the new Switch is like that gray with the purple outlines and stuff like that. And it's called the Super Nintendo Switch. That'd be good, right? That'd be good.
I don't know.
Someone else said it. Well, who said the switcheroo? Was that Reese? The switcheroo. Yeah, that's not my Minecraft.
Water, you didn't get the Pro yet. How are you gonna get the 7 next year? You didn't get the Pro yet.
What?
Did he just come back? Did
no.
he just come back from a nap?
No. Water has a hot tub time machine. He knows some things. He knows some stuff. Krebsy says if you can't hit 60 frames per second on the next gen console with AI assistant, you shouldn't release the game. Agreed. But they'll do it.
You think the PS7's coming out? You think the PS7's coming out next year?
No, I'm joking. He does have a time machine, though. Yeah. We're skipping a generation right here, buddy. Good, 6. Yeah, they are expecting a 6, but we're giving them the 7.
I know the numbers. No, I know the numbers, but when you do the Pro is basically the 6.
No.
Like that's how and then
No.
Yeah.
The Pro is the Pro. Then there's the 6. Then there's the 6 Pro. Then there's the 7. Then there's the 7 Pro.
No, I'll put it this way. I don't think PlayStation is going to call it the 6.
After the 5 Pro?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to call it a 6. They're going to call it something else.
They're going to call it PlayStation Infinity.
They're going to call it something, but it won't be
the
6.
end. They're going to call it the end because there's going to be no consoles after that. No, it's not true. There'll always be consoles. Let's see. You got time for one more, Sarge?
Sure.
All right. I want to show this off, right? Level cap. I think Robert Jones put this in our channel. Okay. I want to show this because this is an 8-minute video. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but Level Cap is going to talk about this, and I'm going to show it on screen. So we'll let him talk about it, and then we'll talk about it as he's talking about it. Okay. So let me make sure the volume is up a little bit so you guys can hear. Okay, here we go.
This Insurgency Sandstorm mod is so good that it should be elite.
You heard that correctly. This is an Insurgency Sandstorm mod. This is a mod within another game that makes it look like Star Wars. Now, here, hold on a second.
Legal. Star Wars Saga is basically a Battlefront type experience, but for the game Insurgency, is currently in active development with a public beta until October 25th. It's easily one of the best looking mods of its kind, and I'm just blown away by what the developers have achieved. Let's check it out. Now, I've been keeping an eye on the development of this mod, not just because...
Can I just say, look at the graphics of this, right? This looks like EA's Battlefront.
Because it looks fantastic, but because I am seriously afraid that Disney is about to send in an army of lawyers to take it down, and I want to play it before that happens. At least the squad...
Oh, well, it's not... Did they call it Star Wars? I guess they did call it Star Wars.
mod didn't use Star Wars.
Oh, yes, they called it Star Wars Sagas. Sorry.
In the title. Seriously, if the devs are watching this video, you guys better change the name to, like, Space Battles or something, because Disney don't play, and neither will anyone else if this project gets unalived. Now, clearly the devs of this mod have some skills. The quality of the assets rival EA's official Star Wars Battlefront games, and the composition of everything brings some very strong Star Wars feels. Blasters are deadly but inaccurate. The airstrikes and support vehicles are terrifying. Droids are, well, they're droids. And if somebody sat me down to play this game on a computer, I would have not guessed that it was a mod, nor that it was running on top of Insurgency Sandstorm. That is, aside from some of the lingering UI stuff. There are some common elements carried over from the vanilla game, like classes and weapon customization, but for the most part, this mod has its own feel that is distinctly different. A lot of total conversion mods that you'll play for, say, like Fallout or something, still feel very much like cosmetic overhauls that don't really change much of the core mechanics. You could actually say that Galactic Contention, which is the Star Wars mod for Squad, kind of feels like Squad under the hood for the most part. And what's interesting is that the creator of Sagas is the same dev who created Galactic Contention. I don't know if he's getting better at modding or if Sandstorm is just a better modding platform than Squad, but the general polish and presentation of Sagas feels far beyond that of Squads. That said, Galactic Contention still has way more depth and content, but Sagas just looks the part even more and leverages Sandstorm's faster gameplay for a well-paced experience. Gunfights are fast, but the TTK doesn't feel instantaneous like it does in a standard PvP match. The weapons have an ammo pool that you can augment with an attachment, but there's no reloading. Instead, they've borrowed the Battlefront system of overheating with an active reload style window to hit R and speed up the cooldown. Miss that window and your gun will take even longer to cool down. Most of the weapons feel pretty lethal even at longer ranges, and the shotgun in particular hits like a truck. Now, full dismemberment of droids and lore accurate battle damage for humanoid characters is in the works, which is going to be dope, but for now I am still pretty happy seeing bodies ragdoll and fly several feet when they get shot. Obviously, the overall combat isn't quite on par with EA's Battlefront games in terms of its depth or polish, but if you're looking for a Battlefront experience with much more of a tactical gameplay feel in a modern package, Sagas is pretty much it. My very first match was one of the large-scale attack and defend modes on Geonosis, and it was crazy watching orbital strikes rain down. That's one of the things that this mod does really well. The theatrics and the scale of everything just feels gigantic, but the gameplay is still very focused, kind of like Insurgency. On Utapau, there are several vantage points above the objective areas.
This looks phenomenal. Okay, like I'm just thinking about all these mods that we've seen, right? We've seen the Star Wars mods in Starfield. We've seen this Star Wars mod. We have the Fallout London mod on top of Fallout, right? You look at these. We don't need to watch any more of this. What I want to talk about is...
Oh, no, just let it run in the background.
Oh, you want with the voice or just let it run? You want to listen to the rest of it?
You can talk. Just let it run in the background.
So you want the audio on? Or off with the
you don't have to run the audio.
Okay,
you can talk.
Yeah,
let the thing run.
So what I want to talk about here is why can't a company, right? Like for instance, I understand there's a whole bunch of legal jargon that has to go on behind the scenes.
That Utapau map right there is directly from the original game.
Yeah. Okay.
The original game.
The jargon behind for legal stance and stuff like this is murky waters, right? But when
Sure.
you look at something like this, right, and a company's looking to make like Star Wars, like they look at this, right? They commission somebody right now to go make a game of Star Wars, like massive made for Outlaws. Okay, why doesn't Disney or any other major company where a modder does something like this for London, for Star Wars, and they just approach them and say, okay, we'll give you this much money to go make this game, to put it out there and make money off of this? Why wouldn't they do this? If Disney sees this and says, holy shit, we don't need to contract someone to go make a Battlefront 3, the fuckers already made it. They made it. What do we have to give these guys? They made it for free. Let's put it out there. And now there's no cost.
Free. Their time.
Well, their time. What I'm saying is Disney didn't give them money to go, hey, here's 5 years of development time money. Go do it. They took someone else's engine, made the game. Now, there are engines that they make other games with that turn out to be successful games. Why doesn't a company like Disney or Bethesda with London approach these guys and be like, you've made this game, let's make it official. Let's make it official.
Because corporations can't allow outside people to run what they do. That's why. That's exactly why.
But this is a win-win for them.
It's not a win. It's not a win for Disney, because then it makes Disney look bad, because it makes it look like that they can't find people to do the licensing that they want to do. That's what it is.
They're the passionate fans.
The passionate fan always wins. Look at it. Just the game. Once again, the game speaks for itself.
I like what
Kevsey put. Speaks for itself.
Kevsey put, Disney will just take it for free because 4 years ago the creator accepted Disney Plus TOS.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you think instead of Disney suing and trying to sue these people, right? Call them up and be like, okay, what you guys did, how long did it take you to make?
That would make too much sense, Dave. That makes too much sense.
Yeah, make an official paid mod, something. Like, I just can't imagine, like, because like Level Cap says, change the name because they're going to sue your asses, okay? Because you made a Star Wars thing, right? And yet, all Disney has to do is go, holy shit, these guys made a whole Star Wars game for us.
But they're not selling it. Doesn't matter what they call it, right? Or
Right,
you
but
can't
it's a mod in the game that's being sold, right? So you have to
Yep.
buy the game, and then you can. So I don't know. I just this is I always love bringing stuff up like this because
It looks really good.
it looks fantastic.
What I think is more interesting is that the map for Utapau is it almost looks like exactly the map from the original game. And I'm not talking about Battlefront 2 recent. I'm talking
No,
about
you're talking about the old
Battlefront 2,
Battlefront
the
too.
original one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
here's the other thing. Okay. The one they came out with, the classic collection that they came out earlier this year that bombed completely. That's the effort they give, right?
That's my point.
That's the effort they give, right?
That's the effort. MVP.
Yes, minimal viable
MVP.
product. Well, this guy's like, I just love doing this, right? And it looks.
How many guys is this?
It's one guy.
It's not one guy.
That's what he said in the beginning. The guy who made this mod is the guy who made the other mod for this thing.
So it's one dude.
That's what I think he said.
Listen, if this is just one dude, then Disney has a whole other issue besides their shitty products.
Right? Level Cap in the beginning said the guy who made this. He didn't say the guys or the team that made this. He said the guy who made this. He says, I don't know if he's getting better or what.
But this is why these guys get jobs. They eventually get jobs at a company. That's what happens. This is how they get noticed. This is basically your resume.
There are games right now charging $70 to $120 for a shitty little game, and yet this game is done.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, if this guy isn't hired yet, I'm sure somebody's going to find him and ask him to be hired, because this is how you get hired. This is the kind of thing that gets you hired. They see this kind of work and they're like, do you want to develop for us? You get a phone call.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Salty, right? You're not wrong about what you're saying. It's incompetence of their own IP, but Disney doesn't have studios. Right? They don't have studios.
Right. They just buy people.
They don't buy. They license out their shit to these people to make the game that they want them to make, right? Well, this guy's made a complete game out of a game that's already out with Insurgents, and he just made a mod on top of it, right? We've said it all the time. Like, how hard is it to take Battlefield Battlefield and make it skins of G.I. Joe or Transformers, right? That's all we're like, same exact game with skins of IPs that people like, okay? Insurgents is a game as a military sim, and they threw this on top, and now all of a sudden, Star Wars fans are like, whoa, that looks cool. Because we're waiting for a game like this, and we get minimal viable product of Classic Collection that crashes and burns, okay? And someone makes a mod in his spare time is 10 times, 100 times better than what they put out.
Yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure that the way to save Battlefield is to do G.I. Joe Cobra. But I could also see them doing Transformers, Battlefield Transformers, where you're Decepticons versus Autobots, and the tanks and stuff is you. Like, and you go to specific areas of the map to scan something, so you can transform into that vehicle.
You were talking about that a couple weeks ago or months ago, or whatever.
Like that to me would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm just baffled.
Because then you would scan in like what you want to be, and then you turn into that thing. Yeah, that would be insane.
If they go out and try to sue these guys, instead of suing them, they should pay them.
Hire them.
Yeah, they should hire them. You don't sue this. Like, you literally are paying millions of dollars for a company that takes 4 to 5 years to make something, and this guy has something now, right?
They don't look at it that way. That's the problem. They don't look at it that way.
This guy can make money right now, right? Starfield's making buku bucks, okay, because people are buying Starfield or playing it on Game Pass, and you can make the whole Star Wars experience inside of Starfield. Oh, that's another game I've been playing again. Right, I went back in because I downloaded more mods.
I was thinking about playing it with more mods.
Yeah,
I haven't finished the game yet.
There's a channel.
I haven't finished the game yet.
The Shattered Space is coming.
I'm at the last battle.
Shattered Space is coming out at the end of this month. So don't put mods on because you'll fuck up your save, like me.
Okay.
So just wait. Okay. Or start a new game, a new save with the mods, but don't use the mods on your new save or whatever. So. All right, chat, that's going to do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. Episode 409 is in the can. We do appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us. If you like it, hit that like button. If you like it more, hit that subscribe button. If you like it, really you like it, become a member as little as $5. We do live streams, uploads, podcasts. We're here Monday through Thursday in the mornings for the daily grind. We do gameplay. We do shooting the shit with Sarge on Wednesday nights. We're playing Borderlands. And then we do this podcast at the end of the week at Thursday at 8 p.m. for Generation X Gaming. Tomorrow, I'm not on Lono's podcast because he's playing Astro Bot. And I'm going to be playing Star Wars Outlaws because I'm trying to get through the actual the rest of the game, because next week I want to play some other games. So I'm going to do a stream tomorrow morning starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll stream until about 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and then we'll be done for the weekend, and then we'll be back on Monday. So appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your evening, afternoon, or day, and you guys have a great one. See you on the next one. Peace.
Game on, guys.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.